said, hey, say that again, and then I obviously just did it with no hesitation at all, and I only realized that that was a thing that you could have potentially done halfway through singing it. You missed so many opportunities to trick me into doing horrendous, stupid things on camera. Because you know I have no shame, and I'll probably do all of it.
Speaking of
You just
which,
never go for it. What,
we
huh?
are
What?
live now.
Oh, hey, did any of that get in? Was that in there?
Some of that was, yeah.
Nice.
You get...
Perfect. Fucking awesome. Let me go
I
find.
got it the second time around.
You did it. I'm proud of you. While I was admonishing you for fucking it up the first time, you did it right the second time.
I can send you the link now, or you can just go to my YouTube channel and find it.
Okay. I'll go find it, I guess. No, don't lift it. Don't lift a finger. I'll do it. Fine.
Fuck you.
Man, as soon as I clicked into the stream, the first thing I heard was me just stuttering, and then over that, you in real time said "fuck you."
Nice. Oops, I forgot. This was my that was my mainstream game. I don't want to.
David and Xavier, are you taking part in the YouTube walkout on the 10th and 13th?
What's that? I
How do
haven't
you
heard of
walk
that.
out? All of us work from home. Where are we walking out of?
Yeah.
I would gladly do so if it meant that something like actually cool was going to happen, but I don't know the specifics of that. I
Okay,
like how
so
the spaceship
now
is the same shape as your logo.
it is. So now I am officially starting the new campaign. And explanation for those who are just catching up with us is that the idea with this little mini playthrough we got here is that we are going to be intentionally playing the capitalist South.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to try and make bank as much as possible.
Yes. Screw over as many people as needed just to make money. Hello, Anna.
You're doing like a roleplay playthrough on your first run?
I've got another run, but this is
Oh,
a
okay.
special run for this stream. Oh,
Okay,
it's a
so like, how do you
walkout.
participate in the virtual strike? Do you just not upload on the 10th and 13th? Because
Yeah, like what do you do?
cause,
Do you like
like,
not watch YouTube on those 2 days, maybe?
I can do that. I can just put on some reruns of old cartoons on Hulu and just chill for 2 days.
Also, I'm sorry for all those who are watching the stream. It's probably pretty blinky, but that's the best we got.
You know what you could do is you can go into OBS and change your output settings so it runs a little smoother.
Gonna do that.
Yeah, just go into the... Yeah. I also have to have the stream muted, but so I can't hear myself talking in my brain, because then it would make me not be able to work. I can't function. Hey, Mr. Movie Boy. Hi, Anna. There's lots of people joining now.
Hey. Nice.
Okay, so just don't use YouTube in any capacity for 3 days. That's awesome.
Okay. I think we can do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll not upload or watch anything for 3 days, and we'll see. We'll see if it puts some kind of dent in YouTube's their revenue. Because then they'll be like, "Oh no, we have to fix things now."
Okay, so you got the. So here's my my customization screen. So I gotta
Okay.
customize
You
it.
fix your frame rate because it looks a little bit smoother now when you move your mouse across the screen.
No, I didn't. I did absolutely nothing.
What,
So I've got 6
why was
points.
the cutscene all laggy, but you showed the mouse and now it's moving smooth as butter?
We'll find out once we get to gameplay. Maybe it'll just be the cutscenes that'll be janky. So
Thanks, socially inept Spider-Man. I appreciate that. He said congrats for the engagement. Hi, Denny Amborski. Hi, Bombastic AR. Hi, Marvel DC fan X99. We're doing good. Hoping that this stream goes okay.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna give myself some charm some intelligence. Do you think I need some perception?
Yeah.
Perception might be
Well, in
good.
order to be a sneaky evil businessman, you have to find ways to manipulate people. So your
Yeah.
perception should
So
probably
I'm
be
gonna
pretty
put up
decent.
temperament as OL because I want to be the sneaky like businessman type. So I'm gonna give myself average strength because I'm not gonna need strength. Um,
Yeah, you pay other people to do your murdering for
I'm gonna
you.
have high charm. Should I have good temperament? Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. High charm, good intelligence, perception, and dexterity and charm, and average strength.
Can you just set everything to good and make your character a fucking overachiever?
Yes, but I'm not. So I'm gonna give
I
myself.
always like that system in
I'm gonna
Fallout
give
3.
myself points to
You could
dialogue and
probably talk
step.
your way out of a landing ticket.
That sounds good.
I like
Aptitude.
that system in Fallout 3 where they gave you a limited number of points so you couldn't just make yourself good at everything. I find myself in this weird little minority group that
Let's see.
in that I think Fallout 3 is fine. And I actually quite enjoyed it. A lot of people are like, it's garbage, it sucks, it ruined the series, it's poop, it's New Vegas is a billion times better. And
So I'm gonna make myself.
I can agree that New Vegas is better, but I don't think that Fallout 3
I'm making
is
myself a
bad.
cashier because that's what it's gonna be. So what do I want to look like? What do I want to look like?
What do you want to look like?
Do I want to be a male or a female?
What? You should be a male.
Okay.
You should be. Can you make yourself Asian?
These are all terrifying, I have to say.
I can't see in real time what you're looking at. I'm a little bit behind. So I'll just take your word for it. Or I'll find out in another 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna make myself the whitest of the whites because capitalism.
No, I was thinking you could be like a Chinese businessman who like buys all kinds of movie theaters.
Okay. I'll give myself terrifying white eyes.
Oh, Ben. Hi, Benji. That's our good buddy, Benji PKC.
He's a good buddy.
He's a good fella, buddy.
I'm gonna give myself really big anime eyes.
What's our character's name?
What do you think?
Let me look up Chinese names. Because we're role-playing a Chinese businessman who
No, I'm
is...
not.
Well, isn't he destroying the movie industry?
I'm gonna roleplay him as like, well, he's a space capitalist, so he's gonna be like an Asian American.
But I want him to be like the guy that keeps telling Disney that they gotta edit the gays out of their movies.
True.
that's the character I want us to play. And then LeFou dances next to a guy at the party scene at the end for 2.5 seconds, and everyone lost their shit.
I'm gonna make him.
And then Disney was like,
"Look
how progressive we are."
He's bald, and he has no eyebrows.
I'm like, you're describing the things you're doing, and I'm seeing it maybe like a good 10 to 15 seconds after.
What do you think of this guy?
Oh my god. This man is frightening. We've gone from like a normal, like a parody of like some kind of stereotype of a real life person to like he's Stephen Merchant's character in Logan. Who's that guy?
Look at his nose now.
I forgot what that guy was called. What was his name?
He was
Crazy.
Caliban.
Caliban, yeah, and he was also in Apocalypse, but they've like forgot.
So let's call him Caliban.
Jesus Christ. Caliban-san.
Oh, we can make him a Mad Max character. Yes, look. Look, he's
Yeah,
Mad Max.
yeah! Hell yeah, what a lovely day to buy stocks!
I love it. I love it.
What a lovely day! What a lovely day to invest!
There we
What
go.
a lovely day to reorganize your portfolio!
He's gonna be named Nux for the Mad Max character.
Nux Caliban.
Yes.
We've made a monster!
We've made a monster. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful monster. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I want that guy to be my like fucking talent agent.
He says, Bombastic AR says he looks like the villain from Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh yeah.
What kind of game is this? This is a role-playing game. It's like a Fallout style RPG, but it's not open world.
Who said that?
Mr. Movie Boy.
Oh, okay.
Also, retweet the stream on Twitter, you loser.
I already did.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Bastard. Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I know, I just posted my own link to it instead of
Okay.
retweeting yours. Let me go find yours. Oh my god.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
We do have to, I think, fix the frame rate or the output or something in your settings.
Okay. We'll see.
Because it's like the cutscene is like 3 frames per second.
Let's see how it goes once I get out of the cutscene. So this is the doctor who like breaks us out.
The Doctor Who?
Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I
And
see
then
what
he's
you're
like,
talking about.
I reconstructed your face after you were shot for being a mailman.
Yeah.
The cutscene is practically still frames, dude.
Except like this guy is like a kind of a horrible person. He's kind of a weirdo. I realize this, but there's like the cutscene is this is the only cutscene, and the rest of the game's not like this. I apologize for the still frame.
Hey, don't worry, artsy guy. You don't have to stay for too long. There'll
Stay
always
as
be an
long as you
archive of
can.
this. David, is this like a 10-minute cutscene? Because I don't
No.
think we can hang on that long.
It's not a 10-minute.
Okay, please get to gameplay soon so we can test your theory that that'll look better.
Mm-hmm. Is this Mario Galaxy 2 cuteness? What?
I think he meant cutscenes, but it was an autocorrect issue.
Yes, so this is Phineas Wells, who's like a doctor guy. And he's like a terrorist who's also loose in this thing. See,
He looks like if Handsome Jack from Borderlands was a baby boomer.
Yeah, basically. See, like he's knocking us out of his ship right now, and then once we land on the ground, like like less than a minute, we will be in gameplay.
And then we'll see if the frame rate is equally as choppy.
Yes. This guy.
It's obviously the Joker before he became the Jocker.
Xavier is having an aneurysm over the frame rate. Hey Jacob, how's it
Yeah,
going?
well, okay, someone's got to have one, because, like, David would just leave it if I didn't. Alright, boys, are we going to free our fellow slaves to the corporate machines, or are we going to welcome our new corporate space overlords?
We're gonna
No, we're
welcome
going to
our new-
become the corporate space overlords.
Exactly.
We're role-playing a character who's the ultimate space capitalist.
He's like
His name is,
his
Nux
name-
Caliban.
He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not to worry.
He's a Chinese-American businessman who's, who asked Disney repeatedly to edit out all of the gay characters from their movies.
I've also outfitted you with a simple
And he wants to dominate the Chinese film market.
with you
He also just wants to dominate in general.
Good luck. I'm
He's
a very dominant person. He's into that.
massive.
It seems to be running ever so slightly smoother, but it's
Well,
it
I mean,
still
it's also
uses a
supposed
little
to be
bit of work.
intentionally like the guy is to skip, hold, enter.
No, I mean like the fucking when you look down at your hands, it'll look a little
Yes.
smoother.
Hawthorne should be close by. Watch
It's
How
so
is it-
weird that the cutscene is slow as shit, but the gameplay actually looks kind of okay.
How is it now?
I don't know. I want to see when you like get up and have to walk around and stuff. Okay, that's I think we could live with that if you turn down the output by like 10%
I
from
can't.
whatever
How
it
do
is
I
right
turn
now.
turn down the output?
You go to your settings on OBS.
But I can't do that while I'm streaming.
Yeah, you can. Just Alt Tab.
So like settings, what? So what
Settings, and then go to like output,
Mm-hmm. Turn down
and
the
then the bit rate. Just turn that down a little bit. Just a little bit.
bitrate. Okay. It's
Just
been
a
turned
little,
down.
because people are upset.
Fine. Well, it's you who's upset more than anybody else. But
I know. I'm people. I'm all the people. I wonder if Ben's watching this, just like getting mad. There's more shit that he'll potentially have to edit at some point.
See, how's it
We'll
now?
see how it goes. We'll see if they're I don't know. Stream, tell us what you think if it looks better.
It's mostly you.
I'll let them decide, because there are those weirdo, like, asshole PC gamers who can just, like, look at a screen and tell you the exact frame rate just by looking at it. It's like, oh, that's 21.5 frames per second. No, wait, that's 63.8. Oh, wait, seems to be now at 48 frames. Like, I don't know how people do that. But there's always that guy who has a big fancy gaming rig and knows these things.
And that guy is also you.
I'm not that guy at all.
You're a console gaming.
I've never
asshole.
even been in the same room as a computer. I don't know if one of those is.
Oh no, I'm going slowly. Ask and ye shall be annoyingly received.
Yeah, baby girl, receive this annoying request.
There we go. So, here's my first opportunity to meet another person. And I'm already gonna be a terrible person.
Hey, you, come here.
Okay.
All right.
You've tried the
yeah.
best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh,
Time to go be an asshole in space.
So,
Xavier, did you like Death Stranding? I played about 2 hours of it and then have been busy and haven't gotten back into
Spacers
it, but
what?
I've been enjoying it so far.
What happened to you?
We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him.
Boy, this really
Then
just
my gun
does
was
look like a
fired
Fallout
right through
game.
my side. I
Like,
mean, what are the odds of that?
Pretty
right?
transparent about it.
Just
His gun
barely scraped by
misfired
with
and
my
shot
life.
himself.
Crawled in here
And then he
blocked
called
off the exit
himself
with those
to
canisters.
survive. You were hiding in a cave
Who-
and you blocked...
Who are you narrating this to?
What were you
Who
doing?
needs to
It?
know this
Investigating an
information?
illegally grounded ship. All
Are you telling
spacecraft
me?
must
Yeah.
arrive and depart from authorized land.
Because
Okay,
we are,
I
we
can
are
just,
role-playing
like,
this character.
Some
lag
hull heads
behind
grounded
a
their
little bit.
spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way
Hello,
to
Agent
attract
of
marauders.
Chaos. How you doing?
See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here.
Jacob says we
I can
should
take
play
them all
Sunset
out with a
Overdrive
single shot.
sometime.
Not bad, huh?
I do not currently have a copy of that, but I could totally get one, and I've been able to stream stuff from my Xbone in the past, so
So
probably pull that off.
I'm gonna get him to give him. Should I hunt him down for him, or I'm gonna get him to give him my gun? You're an idiot.
Yeah. You
He's
sound a
an
lot
idiot.
like
I
my
called him an
lieutenant.
idiot. That's
Here,
my first
hope this
decision
gun
of the
serves
game.
you better than it did me.
Perfect.
All Spacer's choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction.
I remember
You've
there was
tried the
this
best,
interview
now
with
try
Yuri
the rest.
Lowenthal
Spacer's
where
choice.
he was like worried that because he was already
Now
in
the
Sunset Overdrive, he wouldn't get the role in Spider-Man. And he's like, well, I hope they don't just think, oh, he's the Sunset Overdrive guy.
Should I kill him?
I don't know who you're talking about, but sure.
Should I kill like the guy that I got to give it? He's injured and he gave me his gun because he's an idiot. Because he shot
Well,
himself.
okay, you know, here's the thing: how can you profit from his death?
I can loot his corpse.
Well, sacrifices need to be made for the business. You know?
Exactly, because I need to benefit myself. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill him.
Okay, only do things that directly benefit you.
Now I have his armor.
There you go. Yeah.
Which means
What a
I can...
fucking dark stream already. Already, Jesus.
So now I have his armor on. Get ready. It's gonna be worse.
Oh man, I'm excited to see how bad this gets. How many crimes can we commit in 1 hour and 40 minutes? Maybe more if my face continues to feel better.
So, Xavier, tell the stream what's happening with your face. What's wrong?
Okay, alright, so for financial reasons, I don't quite eat as often as most people do, and I probably less than a healthy amount. So sometimes when I do eat, it's been maybe 24 or 30 hours since the last time I ate, and I get too excited because I'm starving, and then I chew really, really fast because I'm dying, and then I accidentally bite through my tongue, or bite my cheeks, or bite my lip, and I don't know, I don't got good pain sensors, so sometimes I don't even notice when it happens, and then the next day I'll have canker sores. And it's a thing that's kind of happened for a while. But this particular bout, I have about 3 different problem spots in my mouth right now, 2 on my tongue and 1 on my cheek, on the opposite side of the other 2. So basically, I can't chew without it being like, you know, imagine someone sticking a thumb into an open wound. And whenever I talk, one of the canker sores on my tongue bounces off the roof of my mouth.
Oof.
And it's painful. So I have to kind of talk in a stupid way where you might hear a little bit more of a whistle in my voice. So I might sound a little bit more like Matthew McConaughey on Muscle Relaxers, so that my Swiss cheese tongue will feel a little bit better.
Sorry about that.
Ah, it's okay. You know, I
also
blame
said
the economy.
Canadian way of saying
Did you hit
sorry
that guy
there.
so hard his limbs fell off earlier?
Yep.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna try and do it again with this guy.
That's cool.
Didn't happen again, but I got him. He's dead.
Aw. Keep smashing the limbs off people. I love how this almost just looks like a big mod for Fallout.
It's a lot more colorful than Fallout, though. I like the way.
No, I know, but like gameplay wise, like it looks like one of those conversion mods where someone just takes like the gameplay and engine and like animations and then just reorients it to be some other fucking thing. Like, let's turn Half-Life 1 into a survival horror game called Cry of Fear, and it's like you can kind of tell a little bit that it's the same thing because certain things have the same like physics and animation and sound effects, but like all the models and graphical style are so
these are
different that
corporate
sometimes it
cops
tricks
here.
you.
Don't know where you came
Corporate
from,
cops?
stranger, but you best keep
Yes.
your head
Man, that
down.
would be a
There's
cool
marauders
concept if
hereabouts,
Spider-Man
worse,
2099 didn't
violators.
do it 20
Call
years
on
ago.
that rung leech.
That would also
Landing
be
in
a
the veil
cool
without using an
concept.
official Spacer's Choice landing.
If Blade Runner didn't do it
Fine, but
30,
we're for all
no,
these
fucking
marauders.
40 years
I
ago.
was thinking, RoboCop.
Oh, that too. Because, like, Deckard is, like, hired by the company, right?
So Red Lantern Review says that it's Fallout but built on a stable engine that actually works and doesn't break every couple of minutes.
You know, I actually didn't experience any bugs when I played Fallout 4, but
I mean,
to be
yeah,
fair,
of
I
course.
didn't, like,
Marauders.
finish that
Bunch of
game because
addle-brained
I got mad at
derelicts. I
it
could
and
round
was
'em
like,
up all by myself.
because I was just like, God, this is so
You know,
boring and
Need a
long-winded.
couple of winks to catch my breath.
I felt like I
Stretch my
played
legs,
like
son.
20 hours of that game at one point and felt like I made no progress after all of it, and I got so upset that I put it down and never came back to it. And it's
So I'm
been
going
4
to
years.
intimidate these guards into doing something by giving them a 0 on their customer satisfaction survey.
Seriously? But
That's
those marauders
pretty fucking funny. Do that.
You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders
Did it
off,
work?
find
Yes.
whoever owns that ship, and file a full report.
That's-
Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
That's like trying to like get free stuff by telling someone you'll give them a 1-star Yelp review or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see you're in the menu on the stream. What are you doing?
I'm just changing a thing. So now they're fighting
Okay.
the Marauders. Die! These are the, every RPG has got to have some goons that you can, murder without feeling bad about it.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Deckard was retired, wasn't he? And they were like, "Nah, you gotta do it." And he's like, "No, but I'm tired of blade running." Was
Yeah, I'm
that
just
it?
gonna run up
It's
and
been a
punch
while
this
since
guy in
I've
the
seen
face.
it. Does this have VATS?
What it has is this. They call it tactical time dilation, which is VATS, but not VATS because we don't want to get sued.
But yeah, it's VATS. It's the same thing, isn't it?
It's like a lamer version of VATS. Because you can't pause
Okay.
and like target. Things get like slowed down.
It just goes slower. All right. I don't know. I always thought VATS was kind of stupid because it's like it's a shooter game. Can you just like aim your gun?
So I'm gonna level up my Fallout character here. So perks. What do I want?
We gotta buy out all the space theaters.
Yeah. So to buy out,
We need
all
to
the
buy
space
more
stacks-
theaters to show Transformers films, David.
Yes. So given that I'm gonna be the most capitalist, I'm gonna give myself extra carrying capacity so I can have more shit.
So you can carry more cash.
Yeah.
Nux Caliban is a huge Michael Bay fan.
Oh, of course.
Not because he
Absolutely.
thinks the movies are good, but because he sees the potential to make money. He's just like, wow, look at this. I can sell this to small children.
And Chinese people.
I watched the first Transformers movie with Jacob a couple months ago. Or I guess it was a couple weeks, but it feels like months. It's been a while. And I don't remember much of it because it was kind of a big, loud, blurry haze, which is just Ben was there. Yeah, that's the experience of watching Transformers movies. It's a loud, blurry haze, and the details get kind of lost. But I remember us laughing a lot about how in those movies, Optimus Prime is a violent murderer who kills people. He's like a fucking psychopath. Like, he starts off, like, pretty normal in the first movie, but in the second one, he's, like, killing people who are begging for mercy and are unarmed. And he rips off a guy's face. You remember that?
Best of luck.
He punches his hand through this guy's chest cavity, grabs his face through his chest, and then pulls it down and out of his back and screams, "Give me your face!"
Which one was that bit from?
That was in Transformers 2.
I don't remember any Transformers movie.
And then in the third one, the Transformer that's played by Leonard Nimoy is begging for mercy, and he's like, "You win, I give up." And then Optimus points a rocket launcher at him. He goes, "No, Optimus!" and then blows his fucking head off while he's screaming. And his last noise in the movie is just "Ah!" while his head falls off.
Right before he died.
Okay, so in case you missed it, this ship has been. The captain was the guy that I was supposed to meet here, but we landed on him, so he's dead. So now I've got a ship.
Cool. Well, shit. We've profited from his death.
But the ship we need a part to get it working. So we're stuck in here for a little bit.
Figure out a way to get that without spending money.
Alex preferred to
you have to
travel
do a
alone,
quest
but
line.
he always had me.
Okay. You see, again, with the character we're role-playing, all we have to do is make sure that we can profit
Well, I'll be with
and
you,
not
friend.
spend any
I'm
money
Ernie
at all
from
on
the
anything.
Space's Choice Department of Human Resources. Town sent me here about.
I don't believe... my name is Nux Caliban, and I don't
Correct me if
believe
I'm wrong
in the
here, but
mantra that you gotta
seems
spend
to
money to
me
make
they're all
money.
dead.
I believe
Mind telling
you
me what
gotta
happened
just
here?
make money.
Now the guards are all dead, so I'm going to lie and say the guards accidentally brutally shot themselves while on patrol.
Accidentally, brutally shot themselves, huh? Unbelievable.
Second time this month is what he
Guess
says.
I'd better get to cleaning up. Can't just
That's
leave
pretty
company
good.
property scattered about, bleeding out on the dirt.
Although I will say,
yeah.
Transformers, Bumblebee is pretty good. That's a solid movie.
Bumblebee was good. I like Red Lantern Reviews' comment. He says, I like the idea that even in deep space future where
Okay,
China
good
likely
friend.
just doesn't exist
You don't
anymore,
wanna
and yet all the
Oh,
space
and,
corporations still do everything to pander to
don't
China.
get paid bits.
Yep.
We gotta get that market. There's a lot of people over there.
You know where else there's a lot of people? Kansas.
Everywhere else in the world? Oh. Oh.
Oh. So now I need
Man,
to go to the
Megas
corporate town.
XLR is the most fucking underrated show ever. There's just an episode where the main character accidentally kills both the Decepticons and Autobots. Like, he just blows up their whole planet.
What?
They're like an off-brand kind of parody of the Autobots and Decepticons, but they have the same voices as the original Transformer. They actually got, like, Frank Welker and Peter Cullen to do the voices of these two guys who are very clearly supposed to be Megatron and Optimus from two different warring factions. And then the main character accidentally blows up their planet and kills all of them brutally.
Nice.
That show's fucking awesome. He also fights
What's
like
XLR? Is it like a Transformer show? Is it like a knockoff?
It's Megas XLR. It's kind of like a parody of like mecha anime and like action cartoons
okay.
from the 80s.
I got it.
But like the whole idea is that it's this super advanced robot that's so powerful it can fight anything. But it's being piloted by like two yuppies who are just kind of idiots. And they
That's
just
great.
kind of drive around the universe just causing chaos on accident. When really their goal is to just kind of like have a good time. But like they fight Voltron and like destroy all their robots, and then a Voltron villain shows up, and then they're like, "What are we gonna do? Our mechs are destroyed." So he grabs all of them and then just shoves his fist up the tiger robot's ass, and then does that with all of his limbs until he's like, "Okay, now we're kind of Voltron." And all of the other pilots are inside, just crunched up in the metal and glass, just screaming.
Nice.
And it's on. This was on Cartoon Network, and it's the best.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you should totally check that out sometime.
Okay, so this is the corporate town we have right here.
The corporate. We're gonna own this town. This is gonna be ours. We're gonna have 8 movie theaters here.
And this is
No one's gonna do anything except buying more tickets. God damn it!
This is the graveyard right
You know
here.
what? Those tickets are gonna be $60 per head, and we're gonna own the market, so they have no other way to watch movies. And we're gonna own the streaming rights too.
Please, name.
I'm having too much fun with this.
Yeah. Work's been real.
So thinking up, Spider-Man says, go even further. All the spaceships still say made in China, and they break down constantly. Oh!
Aw. Okay,
Am I
so
excited
there's-
for Halo Infinite?
No.
What's that? Does that answer your question? I honestly don't even... Is that the 6th game? Or is that a TV show? Or is it a spin-off game? I honestly don't know. Halo 5, because I used to be a huge Halo fan. Like, I was really into that series circa, like, 2010 to, like, 2014. And, like, Halo 4 kind of was a little shaky, and I wasn't really too happy with it. And then Halo 5 came out. And I was so upset and mad with how bad that game was that I didn't finish it. And I have just not talked about or played Halo ever since.
I can't wait for the Halo TV show.
Oh yeah, the one that's been in development hell because they announced it in like 2012, and here we are, still not done.
I think they're either filming it or about to film it now.
I don't believe it. They've said that a couple times.
So the
we're
Halo
about to
TV
film.
series, this is an article from November. They announced that it's about to begin. Table reads are complete. They're about to begin.
Okay.
So according to so the table reads are done. So they're almost ready to shoot. They got a cast. it's gonna be terrible.
Oh, they
but
say
it's gonna
that the 6th installment is Halo Infinite. That's like the new one, and it's launching with the new Xbox in 2020.
No place for a traveler.
You know, all right. Oh, I did see that E3 like full CG trailer that they did for it, where it's a guy stuck in a spaceship and he accidentally finds Master Chief floating in space, and then gets him inside the hangar and turns a suit on. And Master Chief is like, "We have to go fight more aliens!" And the guy's like, "But can we go home?" And then the Master Chief's like, "Aliens!" And that's how it ends.
So I'm going up the elevator to the boss man. Got some nice elevator tunes.
Hey. We don't use that word here. He's not our boss. He is a collaborator. And someday he's gonna be our underling, okay? You gotta keep things in focus, alright? Big picture, booby, okay? Alright.
He's wearing a fucking fedora.
I do apologize. I was given
That's gonna be our fedora one day.
It will be.
To the gates myself.
No, it's a bowler hat.
Well, whatever. It's gonna be
Thompson,
mine.
Outpost administrator.
It's
I
not a
cannot
fedora,
believe
you
are
fuck.
not in
No,
uniform.
you. You're the fuck.
You wore one of those when
Of
you were
course
Riddler.
not. I don't have that kind of luck.
I was
Seems I allowed my
Riddler?
excitement to run away
Yeah.
with my wits.
When
Been a
you were
few seasons
Riddler
since
in
we've had a
Batman
visitor
Forever.
pass through.
That was David.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most
Anyway, in
emphatically
this
not
town, you
keen
gotta
on
rent your
anything.
grave sites from the company that
I can't
owns
let you
the
have
town
power,
in
power
advance for the event. In advance for
I
the event
happen
of
to
your
know
death.
Another one.
And pay a
Yes. And I
monthly
happen to
fee
know
for your own
exactly
grave
how
until you
may
die.
retrieve it
Yes.
Without frying yourself in
That
the
is
process.
like funny because it's so absurd, but I could honestly see that becoming a real thing.
And if you don't pay, and you have a side quest where you can get people to pay up.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered.
The
Go
timeline
down to the
changed.
geothermal
David
plant.
doesn't remember
Bring that
being
power
the
from
Riddler in
Botanical
Batman
District
Forever.
over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
The timeline changed. How did the timeline change?
We're in a divergent timeline where Dane is my dad now.
Oh, God.
That's a
who's-
joke for Jacob only.
So who's Christopher now?
I was not entirely sure.
My
how to
other
tell you
dad.
this. The botanical labs
So
are
you
not
have two
legally
dads.
inhabited, but
Yeah, my two
there
dads.
are people who live there.
That's my sitcom coming this summer.
This fall to the CW.
The people live
This
in
is
the
just an
botanical
ordinary
labs.
family
They're
with
deserted.
an ordinary
Former
dad.
workers.
and
I need
another
them back at
ordinary
their
dad.
posts. I need them.
But together,
to come home.
they're one extraordinary comedy routine. And it shows like
Good Lord, no,
me
I don't
playing
want you
baseball with both of my
killing
dads,
anyone, least
and
of
I
all them.
accidentally throw a baseball at
My
one of
hope
their
is that
dicks,
by
and then the
cutting
other
off
one
their
starts
power, you will
laughing,
convince
and
those
then
deserters to
I
come back to
accidentally throw a
town.
baseball at his dick,
Before you go to the
and then
plant,
everyone's
I
just
want you
upset
to
and
stop by
sad.
the botanical lab.
And both of them are played
Speak
by
to their
Kevin
leader,
James and Adam
Adelaide.
Sandler.
Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
And I'm cracking myself up imagining that. Are you going to
My
watch
dad told
Crisis
me all
on
about the
Infinite
plans.
Earths?
Taught me all
I
you
don't know. Do I
could
need
become
to
a
have
useful-
watched the rest of the CW
I mean, if
shows
that's
for
okay with you,
context?
Mr. Thompson.
Because I haven't watched any of those in like
I hesitate
5
to part
years.
ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented.
Like, I haven't
and
watched
may prove
Flash
useful
since
to
the
you.
quote-unquote
You will
good
need an
days of
administrative
season
passcode in
1,
order to
which
enter
even
the
then I
plant.
thought
I am
sucked,
trusting you with
so
mine.
I don't know.
I'm trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
What? What?
What?
What?
Was I going on this whole bit while you're just having a really, really long conversation?
Yes.
Great. I got more wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that.
So this is the
Best of
corporate
luck,
guy
Pete.
who's
And
running
thank
the
you again for your
town.
help.
And he
It means a
says,
lot
I
to
can get a
ask
power
this
regulator, which is the thing I need to run my ship, from this other town that's run by deserters from the corporate town.
Okay. Let's say a theoretical scenario
Yeah?
where I was reading a really long comment in the stream and totally zoned out and didn't hear any of what you just said. Theoretically, if that happened, what would you say if I were to ask you to repeat all of that? Had I, in this scenario that is not real,
Mister, can we
not paid attention at all to the previous
Can we
statements?
talk?
Well, I'd tell him to go fuck himself.
Okay then. Well, good thing that scenario isn't real, because I totally heard what you said, you know. I didn't zone out or anything. So,
Sorry.
So yeah,
I-
I'm totally
it's
on
just-
board. I'm up to date. I know what's up. Know what's going on.
Sure. It's just to Mr. Thompson. I don't know anybody. There was a boy. Miss McDowell. Paul's like. Can't say it. If Mr. Thompson. Mr. Top. It just.
Boy, I can't
Well,
wait
you
till the episode where my two dads try to sneak me into an R-rated movie, even though I'm
about it,
only
and maybe-
16.
Just an idea.
When was that?
And then one of my two dads, the Adam Sandler dad, tries to draw a fake mustache on me with a magic marker, and he's like, "This will make you look older." And then my other dad, which is the Kevin James dad, will be like, "He looks fucking ridiculous. That doesn't look like an adult. He just looks like a little baby-faced teenager with black marks on his face."
Okay, so now I'm stealing all of the
And then
hardworking
the Adam
workers'
Sandler
stuff.
dad goes, "Come on! I'm trying my best!" And then he breaks a golf club over his knee.
What else does he break over his knee?
The Kevin James dad. There's a subplot of long domestic abuse
Oh no!
between the two dads.
So tragic.
uh,
Why are you like this?
Because it's funny.
Because it distracts from the pain.
I'm not noticing my mouth pain because I'm talking so much that the pain is just like so constant that it's becoming normal now.
You're safer inside the wall.
No, it's not distracting from the pain. It's allowing me to get used to it. It's like that king who kept taking smaller dose, or like he took a small dose of poison and then kept taking progressively larger ones until he just
Died.
could not be poisoned. No, he built up a tolerance. It's like that episode of The Munsters where one of the characters keeps going skydiving with progressively smaller parachutes until he
You're
doesn't
not a
need one
big
at all.
drinker, are you?
I've never seen that episode of The Munsters.
Yeah, have you ever seen any episode of it?
I've
I've
always
seen the
felt-
episode where they go on the cruise ship, which is the movie, I think.
Yes, what is it?
Oh. Was
No,
that made in the
no, Cinder.
90s?
No.
Fantastic. Vicar
It
Maximilian
was
de
there ever
Soto
like a
at your
90s
service.
like, hey,
Or
let's
Vicar
revisit
Max,
the
if you
Munsters,
prefer
because
brevity.
that was
And
the
Miss
era
Holcomb
where they
as
were like
well.
discovering
How rare to see
nostalgia
you
had a
out.
market.
And
So they're like,
a
let's do
complete
a
stranger.
Brady Bunch movie in the
Curious.
90s.
Just tagging along. Vicar
Nice.
DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new
Name
people to
one
talk
good
to.
recent Adam
Name
Sandler
your
movie.
poison.
Hotel
Anything at all.
Transylvania. Next.
Spiritual counseling.
Uncut Gems.
This season's tossball predictions.
Was it actually
The
good?
quickest way
It's
out
getting
of
good
town.
reviews.
Huh. Well, you know, that's the thing is Adam Sandler keeps... He's not a bad actor. That's the most frustrating part, is he clearly, like, he makes a lot of trashy, bullshit, easy to do stuff where he just kind of... He just props
What?
up a camera, gets
thought
his
you were
friends
talking
from
to-
Hollywood, and just says,
You
all right,
wanted to
guys,
speak to
be
me,
funny
Miss
for
Holcomb?
10 minutes in front of
Every
this
time.
camera
I
here,
can't
and
imagine.
then we'll just use that as the scene. And then he just makes, like, tons of movies that way,
Depriving
like
them of-
super cheap, quick and
this-
easy, and then
So-
makes $1 bajillion off of it. But every once in a while, that starts failing when people
re-
have noticed the pattern of how lazy he gets, So then he has to do one movie where he has to actually try again just to reset his career at 0 and start all over again of the next downward spiral into making completely obnoxious trash.
Except that this time he's making obnoxious trash for Netflix because Netflix has lower standards than, movie theaters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been able to get away with a lot of bad shit on there.
I'll bet you loved watching Murder Mystery. Starring Jennifer
I also remember, I
Aniston.
think he did that fucking, what was it? There's a movie about,
I've been feeling pretty low these days.
I tried watching the last one he did. It was like, I think Kevin James was in it, obviously, and he was...
Please don't touch physical
Maybe he
hygiene.
lied about being like a secret agent or something, and got like
I'm Conrad.
famous for it.
It will also...
I don't know. All I remember is there's an Adam Sandler movie where there's a really awkward scene where there's like a three-way, but like
some
the
time ago,
other participant is a very chubby
not
Hispanic
right.
man who is very hairy and decidedly uncharming, and you see his entire dick and balls at one point in that scene, and I was just like, okay, I'm done.
What movie is this?
I can't remember. It was some Adam Sandler bullshit fest that was on Netflix, and I can't even remember who the other character was, because there was the main character of the movie who could have been Kevin James or Adam Sandler or fucking David Spade. One of those three was like the straight man of the scene, where he was just like, oh no, I don't want to look at this very unattractive man's testicles and penis shaft. And then he was like, ew, oh no, because he saw it. And it was like directly over his face.
What
And
can I
then
do?
I feel like there was a woman there who was like into it. I can't remember.
So, okay.
I don't know.
So what I just did is that I persuaded that guy to
You persuaded that guy to...
So he's now gonna pay up for the gravesite fees by ripping out somebody's gold teeth. Because he's the guy who prepares the bodies for burial.
Oh.
So hypothetically, if I was listening to nothing that you were saying right then.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
In this hypothetical scenario. Yeah. Which obviously is not real.
Which obviously is not real. What would I need to know about?
Even though they're obviously grilled.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Instead of being fried or brisketed.
Yes, and you call them a scenario where you weren't paying attention, even though they're obviously grilled.
Exactly.
It's a regional dialect.
Which region?
Upstate New York.
Really? Because I'm from Utica. I've never heard that before.
Oh, no, it's an Albany expression.
Uh-huh.
Is there any more perfect comedy bit than steamed hams? I feel like it's like... I'm not being ironic here or doing a bit. I honestly think steamed hams is like a piece of perfect comedy.
My dad.
Because it's just so versatile and just so quotable, and like everything about the original like ignoring all the memes and re-edits, everything about the original steamed hams is just so finely tuned and perfect that like I can't think of anything that you could change to make it more funny. And I feel like it's
right here,
our generation's
in this part of the country,
localized entirely in your kitchen. Yes.
Can I see it?
May I see it?
No.
No.
Save her, the house is on fire.
No, mother, that's just the Northern Lights. I feel like it's our generation's Who's on First.
Yeah. Gotta love them
I hope
Simpsons.
steamed hams is like, I hope that one persists for a long time.
You know what else is going to persist for a long time?
Here we go.
What?
Minorities.
Nice one.
What? Anyway, someone says Black Widow looks pretty meh. I still haven't seen the whole trailer. I've just seen like GIFs and pictures of Red Guardian and fucking. I've seen 3 things from the trailer. Is 2 different shots of Red Guardian in his costume, or whatever his name is. I'm pretty sure that's it. And I've seen the screenshot of the bad CGI where Scarlett Johansson's plastic face is on a 3D model that jumps out of a plane. And then I also remember Taskmaster's costume looks like a fucking airsoft enthusiast rather than a scary costume villain. Of all the things to fuck up, you really couldn't do a skull mask. Like, how easy? It's a skull. It's so simple, hard to get wrong. It looks intimidating. You could even make it look like metallic and shiny. It's just a fucking skull. And they're like, no, let's make it a helmet with big bulgy eyes. And I understand it's like partially the udon design for Taskmaster, but even that was still like clearly like not... It looked better than the fucking Lord Zed shit they got going.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a costume on a CW show.
It does. Well, CW's gotten better about cost. Like, CW apparently took a lot of the complaints to heart and is trying harder with the costumes. Because a lot of the... It's all just tinted leather jackets. A complaint. That became such a huge running joke that, like, I feel like it was so big they couldn't really ignore it anymore and had to make, like, more of an effort. Because lately, everything I've seen from the newer characters that keep getting introduced is, like, actually genuinely good designs. Like, Kingdom Come Superman looks great. There's a bunch of other characters from the new Crisis on Infinite Earths that look pretty good. Even Flash's costume looks better now.
I wish I could do that.
So they're working on it. They're improving.
And also, Arrow is ending.
That's a good thing. I wish it did that 5 years ago.
Me too.
I think Arrow had one genuinely really good season. Well, okay, it was good, but it had some flaws. But it was like a good starting point. And then season 2, people tell me season 2 was like the best one and was their favorite. But like that was where I fell off the show.
Yeah, me too.
Because like they completely destroyed Deathstroke's character. They made him the dumbest, most annoying character ever. What, you died?
Yes.
Well, oh. Well, I guess I'll see that in a little bit. Why'd you go up to that guy and just hack at his neck with a machete when he has an assault rifle? You're supposed to play the game, David.
I don't care.
Well, then why are you doing this thing?
Because I like the pain.
Oh yeah. Our character in China, skulls are a big no-no. Wait, is that real? Is that a real thing? Do Chinese people hate skulls?
Might be more like the Chinese government hates skulls.
Why?
Because, like, censorship and no supernatural stuff and...
What's supernatural about it? It's a fucking body part.
I don't know about you, but body parts are pretty supernatural to me. It's like how they also don't like zombies. That's why World War Z 2 never got made.
Okay, keep it quiet.
So are you telling me right now that there's a chance that Taskmaster's helmet was changed from a skull face to a fucking airsoft looking thing because China might have not liked the look of it?
It's possible. I mean, that's the rumor. I didn't hear that rumor, but other people did.
Well, I'm just assuming that right here. Oh, hang on one moment.
Hang on what? know. I died for a third time in like 5 minutes.
Why do you keep dying?
Because I like to die.
That's kind of alarming. Someone says, well, did you see the Mulan trailer? I didn't even know it was out.
Yes, I did. It looks meh.
It's weird how, like, I just kind of shut out a lot of mainstream things, I guess, when it comes to movies. Like, it always takes me, like, a couple weeks to watch trailers for things, unless it's, like, something that's, like, people are gonna harass me about. Like, it's a new Spider-Man trailer, I gotta watch it, like, the day of, instantly. But if it's something like, I don't know, like Black Widow or even, like, Endgame, probably just avoid it. Maybe it'll make it easier for me to enjoy the movie once, because I won't know everything that's in it, because I hate advertising campaigns. They're like, here's the third act of the movie is the whole trailer.
So did you see the did you see the trailer for
Diego!
Hey, welcome, friend.
Our boy!
A boy.
The boy!
I promise I'm working on editing that couch potatoes for you.
He's working on it.
I edited like a third of it this afternoon, so.
Man, I'm getting a little worried because Diego said that he mailed me that game once, like a week and a half ago, and like, still not here. Shouldn't take that long.
I mean, I'm also kind of annoyed myself because so I'll tell you a story about the mailroom here at my college is also pretty garbage because my parents sent me they sent me an envelope so I could apply for something so I could use it to go to apply for a visa to go out of the country next semester, and I was supposed to get that in time for my departure, right?
Yeah.
I got it the day after I got back.
Did they wait too long? Fucking, Jesus.
I got it the day after I got back, and they sent me it like a month in advance. So I had to go out to the post office out here and buy another one. It's kind of bullshit.
That's annoying. You know what? I'm getting a little tired of mailing stuff too because I tried to buy Anna's Christmas present, and like I was fully prepared to pay for the shipping to just send it there, but apparently the particular thing she wanted, which is just this like really cute hoodie, it doesn't ship to the Philippines, so I have to send it here and then mail it there, and that in itself is going to take like 3 more weeks because every time I mail something there it takes forever. But then I looked at the estimated date of arrival on it, and even though I bought it today, it says that it'll get here December 30th. She's gonna get that fucking hoodie in like February at this rate.
Good grief. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I'm thinking about using like this, cause last time she mailed me something, she used this, like a courier service, so it got here in like 3 days. It was paperwork for her visa papers. And that was quick. But, like, when I've mailed her stuff, like the Spider-Man mask that I made her, or like, those Legos that I got for her at Comic-Con last year, that shit took like 4 weeks. Almost 5. And I was like worried that it got lost. And it just processes that slow when it's international.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't international. It was like within the United States.
So it shouldn't take that fucking. It should take 3 days max.
It's just that my mailroom at my college is bullshit.
High School 4.
What?
Sonic High School 4 is it's standing right behind you. Turn around, look out!
It's gonna happen eventually. I promise.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for Xavier. Good for the rest of you guys.
We finally have a female friend who can do the girl characters in it.
Oh no, I died again. Fuck.
Wow, let me play.
No. Besides, I mean, sure, tell me what to do. Including the time delay.
Well, first of all, this is gonna be hard to manage. Telling you what to do from on the other side of the country with a time delay. Someone asks, David, I know you're a book guy, so as a big Sherlock Holmes fan, I'm dyslexic, but I listen to audiobooks. I've got to ask, do you have any suggestions for a good detective book?
That's an interesting question. I haven't read a lot of detective fiction lately. I recently read some like Agatha Christie stuff. You could start with that, you know, Agatha Christie, right? The classic, like, you know, detective writer. I'd go with her. I read
you were talking about that after we got out of Knives Out.
I read Death on the Nile recently. Actually, I listened to an audiobook like you did to prepare for the upcoming, you know, Kenneth Branagh movie they're shooting right now.
Yeah, how was that?
Well, it's a classic detective fiction. It's nothing like amazing, but it's entertaining. Although I feel I was also a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I remember. I don't know. This is not an audiobook, but something that I really loved. Listen to the original, like the. I would honestly, seriously, recommend listening to the radio shows from the 1930s. Those adaptations of Sherlock Holmes. I love those so much.
I mean, they're basically audiobooks in themselves, so...
They're audiobooks in themselves, but they're just I just really love, like, the style of those, and I love listening to old-timey commercials. It's just, like, it's such a good, like, style. I love it. But, Agatha Christie would be my second recommendation. You could try reading, I think that, like, J.K. Rowling wrote a couple of, sort of like detective fiction stuff under a pseudonym, and there was this might be a bit of a genre blend, but I'm gonna have to look this up. But
I don't know why, but as you were talking about that, it reminded me of that, like, really, like, it was popular at the time, but there was a motion comic of Watchmen where they got like some like really famous like British voice actor with like a really good voice to just play every character, and like his Rorschach voice was awesome, but then he also had to play Silk Spectre, so he was just trying to sound like a girl, and it was really awkward.
Okay, so here's the other one that I was thinking of for good detective fiction. This is a genre split, but you could check out The Prefect / Aurora Rising and Elysium Fire by Alistair Reynolds. He's
Elysium, that's the one where
No.
fucking Mark Wahlberg is in a robot suit.
Elysium
I'm just kidding. I know
Fire.
It's Matt Damon, but they have the same face.
Elysium Fire.
Elysium Fire.
It's a detective fiction book, but it's in space in like a really hard sci-fi universe. I listened to the audiobook and it was very good.
Xavier, I've been meaning to get into reading some Spider-Man comics, but I have trouble finding them. Have there been any recent good comics that have come out this year for Spider-Man? Okay, good Spider-Man comics this year. I don't know, I thought that, that crazy arc with Kraven the Hunter that Nick Spencer did a couple months back. I know it was a little divisive, but I personally thought it was really cool. Because it was kind of like sort of pseudo sequel to Kraven's Last Hunt. Other than that, I don't know. There's just a lot of good single issue stories, but I guess I'd recommend checking out trades of like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because that one, I don't know. I thought there was some good issues of that too. Like I wasn't like super into a lot of the big overarching plot that they were doing, but like there's really good Peter and MJ and Aunt May moments in that. So if you care about that more than the superhero stuff, then that's some good stuff. Yes, I have read Spider-Man Life Story. I did not like it, unfortunately. I thought the pacing was too rushed, and it didn't have any time to develop anything. So I just didn't really feel anything when I was reading it.
Was
Like
that
it
the one
started
written
off strong.
by J.J. Abrams?
No, that one's a different one that's just titled Spider-Man, which is fucking obnoxious because if you don't have a title or subtitle or like anything to distinguish it, it's going to be impossible to collect in 5 years. But anyway, Chip Zdarsky wrote Life Story. He originally wanted like 3 to 5 issues per time period, because it was like an interesting premise, at least, is setting Spider-Man's origin in the actual year that the book came out, and then having his life like take place in real time. So like when he fights Venom, it's actually the 80s, and Spider-Man's like more in his like late 30s. And then like by the time we get to like the Clone Saga, like stuff from the 90s, Spider-Man is like in his 40s or 50s, and like have him age along like in real time up until now. So the final story is set in like 2015, and he's like an old withered man, but his powers keep him like super strong, even though he like looks like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool premise. I think it's kind of interesting that no comics have really done that before, to my recollection.
Answers, huh?
But it just didn't have enough time to develop things, because it's like, imagine watching a story about like a character study about someone's life, but it keeps skipping 10 years every like 3 minutes. So you're like, okay, all right, well, we're here now. Okay, who's that? Okay, what's his motivation for this? Oh, all right, who are these people? Okay, bye, they're gone. All right, we're 10 years ahead of that. Okay.
I'll be right back.
So
I'm
rushed.
gonna go grab myself some water. Keep talking.
Okay. Diego says, speaking of Watchmen, I'm so happy with how the show turned out. I'm actually excited every Sunday. Hell yeah. I've been super digging the TV show. You see, me and my buddy Jackson, and he's like one of the first friends I've ever had. I met him in like 5th grade. He read Watchmen when we were like 14, and because we were both ultra edgy teenagers who just loved fucking violent comic books, we just both got super into it. And a lot of the social commentary and political stuff either went over our heads or we just didn't really care about it. So we were just like, wow, this story is super cool and bloody. I like Rorschach. He's a crazy guy. I like that he has a cool mask. And just like the most innocent, like silly reasons to like that story. But we were really into Watchmen from like that, that age forward. So one day because he said that he wanted to be Rorschach for Halloween, but there's no costumes like anywhere. So my mom drove us around because I was too young to drive, and we went to like 6 different stores, and they were like, it was around Halloween, so there was like Halloween stores and like the Goodwill and like thrift stores and just like places where everything's used.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning
And
on
we
the
just
spit
went to
outside.
all these different
If you're bearing
places
illness,
in the course of one day, accumulating all of this random trash that we could assemble together into a really, really awesome Rorschach costume.
Let's hear.
And thus far, every time we've gone to a convention and seen other Rorschachs, we always note that Jackson's costume was better. Even though the jacket was reversed because it was a woman's jacket, no one could tell because it had the buttons on it and it was made of leather. It looked just about perfect every other way. But I guess he grew out of it because his shoulders got wider and he got taller, so that jacket doesn't fit anymore, unfortunately. So thinking about trying to make him a new one sometime soon. So he has something else to wear for Comic-Con going forward other than the Star-Lord outfit. And So yeah, Watchmen just has like a kind of special
So we
place
would-
in our hearts, just for like, you know, really, it was
The
just
other
like
day I
a
got
lot
my
of
hand-
nostalgia reasons, and I guess we were just like, I don't know, we were just having a really good time talking about it, and like he's made it a point to come over every Sunday or every Monday, like after, for like the past like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, either to hang out and play Resident Evil games or to just watch Watchmen reruns. And so far we're really digging it. That last episode had our jaws on the floor because I guessed the twist at the end of the episode like 10 minutes in as like a joke, and then it turned out to be true, and I was like, oh shit, no way, is it, oh no, and we were like freaking out. It was so fun. And actually, that happened with the episode before it. I was like, I bet this character's actually this guy, and we're just gonna see like all kinds of weird retcons of the old story. And then turns out that that was true too. I have like this really funny habit of like accidentally guessing like the twist in TV shows or movies with no information. I just go, if I were to write this, what would I have happen? And you know, that has two outcomes. Is either the thing I suggested would have been way cooler, and then they don't do that at all, or the thing I suggested does happen, and I just get super hyped.
Anyway, I've been back for like 5 minutes, so I just didn't tell you.
I know, because I saw the game started moving again. I was just excited. Yeah, Diego, we had basically that same experience. And now I'm trying to catch up on the show with Anna as well, because she just finished reading the original comic, and we watched the movie together, like last week. So now
the
we're...
movie directed by Zack the Snyder Cut is real Snyder.
I love how the TV show is very subtle in how it takes gigantic pot shots at the movie. Because there is a fictional TV show in the universe of the Watchmen show, where it's like a historical documentary recounting the events of like the superhero shit that led to today. And it is very clearly a goofy parody of the Zack Snyder stuff, because it's like, I mean, it might be, you might miss it because you just might think it's actually just trying to be serious about it, but I noticed it plays a scene from this TV show, and there's this scene where these crooks are like holding up like a liquor store or something, and then a superhero named Hooded Justice kicks in the window, and it's in super slow motion, and the music is loud as shit, and then he's like doing all kinds of super fast-paced like flips and tricks that stop in slow motion when he hits people.
Oh,
And like,
I love it.
and it's at one point he uses a guy as a human shield for bullets, and then he punches another guy in the face, and then grabs his head and slams it into a desk 40,000 times, and then bashes his head in with a cash register.
Oh, that's
And then
great.
he says, I wear a fucking mask because I don't know who I am. And it's so edgy and in your face, and it's like, the characters in the show are watching it going, this is fucking trash. And that's the biggest commentary I could ever imagine you could do of the movie, is because all the fight scenes in that are just ultra hyper stylized 300 fight scene. Rorschach's gonna punch this guy so hard his fucking head falls off in slow motion. Oh man, Silk Spectre just tore that guy's arm off and beat another guy with it and shoved it up another guy's ass. And it's all in slow motion! Fucking awesome.
More movies need to be like that. Just make fun of like the previous version, like, I don't know. Imagine if like the next Batman movie has a shout out for how lame, I don't know, Batman and Robin was. Or like
I don't know, I
making
feel
fun
like,
of,
Batman and Robin has been so heavily...
or making fun of like say like
do you
the
want to make fun of Batfleck?
Batfleck, or I was thinking of the Nolan movies maybe.
there's stuff to make fun of in the Nolan movies. Like, I know they're good, and they are, but they're not like the high art that some people think. In fact, there's some things in those movies that are downright dumb and annoying. You could totally have a bit like a really
Christian
good
Bale's
Batman movie.
Everyone all right?
That, well, there's the voice for sure. That's the obvious one. But I just also think like just the like fear of using anything too weird from the comics. Like, you couldn't give Bane his steroids. Is that really too hard of a concept to grasp? Is just steroids that make you really, really strong? I mean, it's in the same universe as a guy who developed a chemical that makes you see crazy fear hallucinations. And that's basically just Ultra LSD.
You know what else is Ultra LSD?
What?
LSD.
Yeah? Diego says, the voice is the biggest target. Like, what if Matt Reeves' Batman gets a sore throat one night and the thugs keep making fun of him? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would fucking take us out of the movie a little bit, because then it would just be like,
That
it
would
would
feel
turn
like
into
a
a Pete Holmes sketch.
That'd
It would
feel
be
like
Batman.
that's like a college humor sketch.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is that those fucking? I wish those would come back. Those were hilarious.
Got it. Inside voices.
Facebook
And there's so much more material for them now that they have all the Justice League shit.
Or like the Sad Man like sketches. Remember those? Like the Batman parody ones, like with like Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt was Penguin. They were called Badman.
Badman. Those were so good.
Yeah. I still always laugh at that bit where he like loses his shit and starts yelling at Superman. And Batman's like, "You fucking nerd with your nerd hair." And his voice like audibly cracks when he does it. And Superman just keeps a complete stone face the whole time.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
Tamim Rahman said username says college humor is not that funny. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe they aren't anymore, but they used to be.
That awkward silence is on you. You earned that. That was your fault, Mr. Common Man. Learn how to read a room, bud. I'm just kidding.
Learn how to room a read.
What? Hey Xavier, I love your spooky road trip video. Have you ever thought of doing something like that again? Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more vlog.
Because he was like vlogging like class assignment.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more vlogs, but like, I think they'd be more interesting when I have like a lot of friends together. So there's just a lot of like good back and forth. Because like it was a fun and pretty easy to edit video. Like I just kind of got home and like did it the next day after I got back. And like there's just so much material to sort through. Like I had to cut down, like I had like 3 hours of footage and I had to like cut down to just the stuff that made it in that video, which even then was like 40 minutes of good material. It's like it's fun, but all of my friends that that I hang out with in real life, they all live on the other side of the fucking continent or like in different countries soon. Everyone's scattered to the wind now after high school, so we don't really get together as a group anymore. So I have like no one to hang out with when I leave the house. So I can't really vlog. Like what am I gonna vlog? I'm gonna vlog me going to the mall by myself. It's just not fun, you know?
I wish I could do
So
that.
speaking of the vlog, remember what I was saying that I wanted to vlog about?
Your transition?
Yes, but also Knives Out.
Whoa, boy, that joke was a little out there. I apologize.
We apologize to Becky.
We know more trans people than just her.
Well, who else do you know?
Well, there's Luna and Texas, and I guess that one doesn't really count because that friend's just more of a cross-dresser, I suppose. I know a friend who detransitioned. Or I guess not really a friend, more of a friend of a friend.
You crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list.
Yeah.
Teach me your ways.
Lots of people all over the little spectrum of genders.
So what I was wanting to say is I wanted to talk about
What?
like
You
Knives
mean
Out
Adelaide's
a
little
bit.
congregation
'Cause
of nature-loving nobodies?
That movie was
I could not
fantastic.
There's
possibly be
people
less
like
interested
you know
in
like
them.
was it High Top whatever
You,
who
on the
said
other
like
hand,
this is
you were
cinema,
a
I
sight
believe
to
in cinema or
behold.
whatever.
If I had half your
And I was
skills,
just
you'd be the
thinking-
greatest
I was just thinking
outlaw
about
the coast has ever
there's a lot of
seen.
people talking about like the cinematic experience and all of that stuff. And what does that even mean?
Why? Adelaide.
Well,
Keep it
if we were to repeat exactly what we said in the car on the ride home from watching Knives Out, is I think there's like a misconception that the cinematic experience is particularly based on going to theaters, but I feel like that's not necessarily true anymore because there's so many different ways to enjoy cinema, and it's more so, in my opinion, my personal opinion, which is not a fact, but when I think of the term cinematic experience, I think just you watch a movie and it speaks to you. It just resonates with you. Something about it you think about it after you've watched it, you know?
But we have to remember that we're not talking about like Martin Scorsese here, because Martin Scorsese had much more of a focused critique regarding the Disneyfication of movie making.
I feel like, yeah, we talked about this too. I think you said this actually, but it's not so much that he's mad at Marvel movies, so just big blockbusters in general. But Marvel is like
Disney
the biggest
as the
offender.
company. Disney.
Yeah, it's more of just the Disney format is the problem. Because it's like, here's a bunch of movies that are just like focus tested all the shit, where it's just like, let's show this to a group of assholes who don't know shit about movies and get their
Can't
initial
wait
thoughts.
to watch Men in Black International.
And then we gotta take all that information and then make the most safe, harmless, profitable thing that'll appeal to everybody, and then just dump it out in theaters. And then like, there's all these poor filmmakers out here trying to make something genuine, and then the studio comes in and is like, no, you got to rewrite your third act because we need to make something that'll capture this demographic. Oh no, it's too similar to this movie, or oh, we don't like the message of this ending. Like, there's not really any art anymore to that kind of storytelling, because it's just whatever appeals to the most amount of people for profit, rather than just making a good story, you know?
But on the other hand, Knives Out is great, and for all you folks who are talking about loving those Sherlock Holmes books, I think you'll love Knives Out, because it's very much in that vein.
Yeah.
It's definitely
But,
it's definitely a more sort of a commentary on the genre of like, specifically the genre of like, you know, Agatha Christie murder mysteries, but it's definitely, if you're a fan of whodunits, you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes, you'll like it too. It's very contemporary, and a lot of it is like commentary directly on like what's happening in society right now, like immigration and capitalism and space. Capitalism. What's that noise?
Space capital. Well, we got to remember, we're gonna take over the space movie theater industry.
That's why I'm murdering this person right now. These are all the.
We're at the
I'm
community
breaking into-
centers.
I'm breaking into Netflix headquarters so I can stop them from competing with me.
You gotta cancel all the season 3s so we don't have to pay any extra money to the showrunners.
Also, they have a formula that shows that they stop getting new subscribers after the second season of a show. So.
My problem with that formula, that business model, after I've really thought about it, is that let's assume that after someone's canceled their Netflix subscription, just like they get it to watch the Stranger Things, and then that ends, and then they just turn it off forever. They're like, okay, I'm done.
And then they just buy like Disney Plus for a year instead or something.
Yeah. Let's assume that Joe Schmo never goes back to Netflix, right? Because he's just bored. There's no reason for him to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Could that not negatively affect other people? Could there not be a word of mouth going like, it's not worth it. Don't get a subscription for any longer than you need to. Just like get it for like a week and then be done once the show's over. Like, could that become so widespread that everybody just like stops buying more Netflix subscriptions? So at some point, like the next 5 years, they just start tanking because they don't have, like, they've gone through everybody with their fucking long-term, like they don't have any long-term subs anymore. It's just people tuning in and tuning out.
Only one way to
and
find out,
like
I
not
guess.
coming back. Does that mean that there's a chance that they'll just not, like, everyone will just stop coming back to the point that they'll be like, oh fuck, we're super in debt and no one's watching anymore?
Only one way to find out, I
You're
guess.
fast.
Oh boy, does this have the same computer bullshit mechanics as Fallout?
No.
Oh, is the
Because
hacking minigame better
No.
than just guess the word?
Do you want to guess what it is? There
What
is
is it?
no hacking minigame. If you
Oh
have
my
hacking
god,
power,
game of the year. There's no hacking minigame?
You just
Game
hack.
of the year.
Like, you just press
They
the
should
button
put
to
that-
hack.
They should just put that on the fucking box. No hacking minigame.
And there's no lock
That's a
mini-
selling point now in this day and age.
There's no lock-picking minigame either.
Awesome! Oh man, that you're like confirming my purchase.
You should totally buy this game. It's great. I love it.
You're really selling me on this now. To answer someone else's question about Alan Moore, his comments on Marvel movies and his comments on, I don't really care about his comments on Marvel movies. Every fucking pretentious asshole in the universe who's made something worthwhile in the art industry hates Marvel movies. I mean, that's just the standard. Like, they're very flawed, very, like, you know, they're the McDonald's of cinema. Like, they're a fucking joke in like film school. Like, they're the butt of every joke for film students. We get it. Marvel movies suck. All right, you don't like them. Cool. Good for you. You're the 50 billionth person to have this take. You're still gonna fucking watch them anyway. What I disagree with most of all about Alan Moore's comments is a lot of this disparaging and very negligent things he said about comics and the people working with that industry. I was more offended about that. Is because he said people working at Marvel and DC are cowards for working under those companies, even though he did so himself for decades. You know, whatever. Not everyone wants to publish a billion indie comics. Sometimes you want to write Spider-Man, alright? They're not a coward for wanting to write Spider-Man, alright? Another thing he said is that he basically described, like, you know, all of the minority representation in comic books and from the creators, just he used the word a smattering or like a handful, and that might have been true like 10 years ago, but I would say that it's way more evened out. They're like, Marvel made it a point to start hiring way more minority people for, you know, writers and artists, just to get a different perspective on things, you know, like Kamala Khan is written by an actual Muslim lady.
Okay, so
Or,
just
you know,
to
like,
interrupt, Socially Inept Spider-Man and Tamim Rahman have said trans rights, and I wanted to echo that.
yes, I agree. Yeah, have they just been spamming it in the chat until we would say it with them?
Yes.
Alright, yeah, that's okay.
I mean, there's worse things you can spam.
I
and
agree
eat,
with the
Marvel
sentiment,
DC
I don't
fan
agree with the
X99.
method.
Go and eat, that's good. Eating is good. Food is good.
I don't know. I don't know or care what your message is. I don't think putting it in the chat 40 times in a row, no matter what it is. It could be. Drink more water. It's pretty neutral take. I think everyone can agree with that.
You know what else I'm drinking?
Pee.
Trans rights.
What are you, the fucking guy from There Will Be Blood? I drink your trans rights. I drink it up with my long straw.
I haven't
And then
seen.
you bash someone's head in.
I haven't actually seen There Will Be Blood, but I've seen.
Oh
the
my
scene,
god, it's so good.
But I've seen the scene from Doctor Who, where the old lady in the hospital uses a straw to drink a doctor's blood.
So anyway, Doctor Who is a very fine children's television program.
I started watching rewatching some of the Russell T Davies era Doctor Who recently, and that's some good shit.
I just can't get into it. I've tried 3 different times with 3 different doctors to get into Doctor Who, and
It's an acquired taste, and honestly,
it's just even though I love David Tennant, and he has so much charisma, especially as that character. Like, he fucking nails it. He owns the screen. But even then, it's just like, it has such a hard time catching my attention and my interest. It's just like, it's not bad. It's just not, I don't know. I can't quite put it into words. There's something off about it.
Is it because you're
You know?
straight?
What? Doctor Who is a gays only experience. But anyway, Alan Moore is grumpy and hates everything, and I think everything he says should be taken with a grain of salt.
I still stand by what H. Bomber Guy said about Alan Moore, is that he's the Rasputin of comics.
So...
Kind of a crazy old man.
He's a crazy old man. The
Also,
things he says are
Rasputin-
definitely interesting talking points and worth discussing, but I don't think you should ever take it as gospel and be like, yeah, that guy's right. Everything he says is fucking so correct.
I do think it's interesting the point how we're still sort of, the thing that's really interesting about Alan Moore is the way that he points out how we're still sort of obsessed with these things, like these cultural things that came from, like, you know, however many years ago. Like, we're still hung up with that, and why is that? That's the interesting question that you get from Alan Moore, not like, is it white supremacist or not? That was just like kind of a weird question.
His whole fucking superheroes are racist because...
Although I do
I don't
kind of
know.
agree with his...
I would say yes, still, even now, there's a majority of them are white. I don't think that in itself is racist.
Although I think the one good point that Alan Moore had is that, like, you can't use a Black Panther as the example that comics are suddenly diverse if, like, he's your only example. Because, like, if he's still...
I think that's more of the movie side of it, is that, like, that was a success. But if we're talking about the comics, there's, like, too many examples to count at this point. There's so many different races and like, social points of view. I mean, like, shit, you got Superman with the fucking hyphen in his name is a Chinese guy. You got Amadeus Cho, who's like a Korean American. You got Iceman, or like characters like Midnighter and fucking
Midnight Her.
There's plenty of gay characters. There's
How many gay characters?
a decent chunk. I would say enough that you could get your fill.
Are there any?
Yeah.
Are there any trans rights characters?
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's like an X-Men character that's trans, but their name escapes me currently.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I would say that maybe we could use a little bit more representation for, if anything. I feel like from like a sexuality standpoint and like a racial standpoint, there's a decent spread while as I would say
we're also bisexually erasing Iceman though.
Iceman. Oh yeah, that was one of the things that if we're gonna get political on this podcast, this fucking stream
This is not a
about
podcast. You.
Here they come.
basically is we think Iceman is one of the biggest examples of bi erasure in the history of fiction, and it pisses me off constantly. You have this guy who has dated and thought about dating and fantasized about dating and talked about dating tons and tons and tons of women, and then one day you're just gonna say he didn't feel anything for any of them and he was gay the whole time. And it's like,
just like you were gay the whole time, Xavier, when you were dating.
How many okay, alright. Once you're on, like, your fucking 20th beard, I think there's a point where you have to just accept that maybe you also like girls a little bit, too.
How dare
Like,
he?
no one, like, fucking... That's not how that works. Like, yeah, sure, you maybe date, like, you know, 1 or 2 girls, you know, to hide what you really feel, or just because you think that's what, you know, you're into, but then you come to a realization later or something, but, like... Dude, Iceman has dated so many women across so many different timelines.
He's had so many beards.
He's had so many... You just gotta accept that, yeah, he's probably also got a little thing for the ladies. I wouldn't mind if you just decided to make him bi and just be like, yeah, he's just going for guys now. Because, like, at least that, like, respects the continuity instead of just being like, okay, all of these stories for 50 years are actually a lie, even though it's really hard to write. Because there's, like, I've read X-Men books where he's having an inner monologue in his own thoughts that no one can hear, where he's going, wow, that girl's hot. It's like, what? Is he fucking lying to himself? Well, I'm so confused.
You know who else is lying to himself?
Who?
I don't know.
I wanted to hear where that joke was gonna go.
Sorry for letting you down. I didn't have a joke. I just wanted to have one.
Someone says, losers wait for the Snyder Cut, real ones are waiting for James Cameron's super dark R-rated Spider-Man movie. Oh yeah, James Cameron's, fucking, his Spider-Man movie where he calls people fucker and, get out of here, you chunks of puke! I'll fucking kill you! And that's an actual line of dialogue, or some variation thereof. And then Mary Jane feels his boner through his costume, and then they, like, fuck on a rooftop in like, broad daylight. While upside down?
What?
If you not read that script, it's great!
Is that the James Cameron script?
Yeah, the unused Spider-Man script from the 90s is fucking hysterical. It's so off the mark from anything that the movie should have been. Even the bad guy is some original bad guy, like electric powers, and he's not Electro, but he has like the same like kind of backstory, I guess. Oh, and Sandman is just there as like that guy's fucking enforcer, and that's just such a weird pairing. Is like, of all the fucking villains you could have used, why an original character and Sandman? I have a suspicion that James Cameron, maybe when he wrote that, did not understand a single thing about Spider-Man. And I'm glad that that movie did not get made, because it would taint and destroy the character forever.
I still think you should have
like,
made a video about it.
As much as we bitch about, like, MCU Spider-Man being inaccurate and wrong, and, like, getting, like details off, it's like, at least it's not, like, so far off that it's, like, a completely different story at that point. You know, like, you can make a strong argument that it's like close enough, right? if there's anything that all this discourse with the stands on Twitter over the past months have told me,
Hey,
is that
Scrubs is
you
in
can
the
make an
chat.
argument. Oh, Scrubula, how you doing, boyo? I'm glad that Scrubs and Diego are here to listen to us bitch and complain while you run around and murder people.
Right now, I'm at the geothermal plant. So my boss tells me that I should should transfer the power to them. So I get to power either the corporate base or the corporate rebellion base.
Power. Can you divert power to yourself only?
No, you have
Start
to
your
choose
own-
one or the other.
Okay, because
So
I want
obviously
I want
transfer
some
money.
cutthroat corporate politics where you actually just start stealing the power for yourself instead.
That's literally impossible.
Oh, hi Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
Do you guys watch anime?
No.
Not really. I watch it with Anna because she's a weeb.
Clever.
You know who else is a weeb?
Who?
Josh.
That's true. Well, no, that's true. I watch anime with him. He made me watch all Evangelion.
Did you like Evangelion?
I did not love it, but I wasn't bored,
Everyone all right?
and I wasn't annoyed. But like, it's not this life-changing thing that I'm gonna be thinking about forever. In fact, I've forgotten most of it already, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of its message and its commentary would have applied more to me in like high school. I think if I watched it in like 2015, it would have probably changed my fucking life. But I'm a very different person now, so like none of it applies to me anymore. So instead, it was just kind of falling on deaf ears when it was trying to say stuff, and I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of came to that conclusion on my own. You know? It's basically the whole message of the show is like, social interaction is hard, and interacting with people is rough, but you gotta do it because being a lonely asshole is kind of a miserable existence. So, as much as it sucks having to try your best to get out there and talk to people and fucking order that pizza for yourself even though you're really nervous and you don't want to annoy the person on the phone, just do it. Remember those years, David?
What year?
Where I was so shy I couldn't order food for myself at the
That'll be
movie
easy enough.
theater
I do remember
because
that.
I thought I was being annoying. I was like, hey, David, could you ask for me?
I don't remember. Were you like that?
I was for a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like you were definitely that before I met you.
Yeah. I was talking with Josh about it the other day, but I'm very different from how I was in, like, I don't know, like 2017 at least. It's been a crazy 2
Oh, you
years.
got that?
Yeah, it has been. You've left the country.
Have you watched Cowboy Bebop? That is an amazing show even to me, not an... I've
No.
been meaning to sit down and get into it because I've heard such amazing things, and I also love Steve Blum. But I
Steve
just
Blum?
have not had the time. He's a voice actor. Okay, so Cowboy Bebop is like it's kind of a sci-fi adventure show. What's unique about it is that, well, among other things, but one of the things that's unique about it is that it's like the only anime that I can think of where everyone agrees that the English dub is superior to the Japanese dub with the original voice actor.
What?
Like
There's two more.
the
How is that
American
possible?
English. Yeah, they just got so many great American English voice actors for it. And like the translation on the script was so solid that it overall is just a better show in America. And
Wow.
like it was already great. It's already like from what I've heard, like fantastic. But like just somehow they nailed it with those American voices so well that it just improved it somehow. And it's like one of the only cases of that happening.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it launched the careers of or I don't know. I mean, I guess they were around, but it kind of put a lot of voice actors into the limelight, including Steve Blum, who voiced the main guy, who has, even to this day, is still a voice actor, like a really big name voice actor in a lot of stuff. You may know him as Wolverine in Wolverine and the X-Men.
That is a show I have occasionally watched.
He played Wolverine in that, as well as pretty much every video game for the last 10 years, maybe more. He's, like, kind of just become the default Wolverine voice. Like, there's, like, Kevin Conroy for Batman, and now there's just Steve Blum for Wolverine. Diego says, you should make a video on those Marvel anime. Then, the weebs and your fans will both be happy.
The what?
The Marvel animes.
There's a Marvel animes?
There's several of them.
You're liable to get scalded.
There's a Wolverine anime, which I guess makes sense because he's always going to Japan. And then there's an X-Men anime, which, from what I understand, is set in Japan, which I think makes a little less sense. And then there's the Wolverine one spins off into the X-Men one, I guess, from what I know. And then there's an Iron Man one, which is very clearly inspired by the first Iron Man movie because his outfit is nigh identical to the movie design when he's in costume. But what's funny is that, like, it's kind of some mixed media stuff because his armor is like 3D animation, but everything else is 2D. So whenever he takes it off, he's just like a normal flat 2D color, like two-tone shaded man. And then he puts on the suit and he's a Beast Wars man. Remember Beast Wars?
I don't watch the Beast Wars.
It was cool as fuck. It's the only, like, Transformers cartoon that doesn't have humans in it, and that's why it's the best one.
What a weirdo.
There's also another one called, like, Marvel Disc Wars or something, where they try to turn Marvel characters into, like, a Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh style fucking, like, game, where Marvel characters exist inside of discs that a couple of spiky-haired anime children, like, throw at the ground to summon them, I think.
So
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me.
Yeah, it's weird. And then Deadpool is in it. I wonder if that got dubbed for America. I would love to hear how the voices sound in that. Especially if they got, like, the actual good voices for it. They're like, hey, let's get Steve Blum and Nolan North and fucking Yuri Lowenthal as the Spider-Man or something. I don't know. Yeah, someone says, imagine if Kyoto Animation made a Spider-Man anime.
I don't know what Kyoto Animation is.
I don't either, but I agree. I've always thought Spider-Man was, like, prime fucking real estate for an anime adaptation, and I'm, like, shocked it hasn't happened yet. Because it's about a nerdy, socially awkward teenage boy who becomes bestowed with godlike kick-ass superpowers who can fight anyone.
You know what?
And then suddenly multiple girls start fawning over him, and he's like, oh geez, which one do I date? And then he fights, like, all kinds of villains that are, like, weird tentacle monsters or corrupt businessmen, and then, like, he just keeps fighting progressively stronger villains. Like, it sounds like an anime when you describe it, the plot of Spider-Man. So it's bizarre and confusing that no one's ever tried to make one. You wouldn't have to change a thing. It just fits already. You can even have, like, the fucking waifu wars.
You know what?
Oh,
you know what?
Who's best girl, Gwen or Mary
mister?
Jane? And they're like,
Look, I know you
anime
want your
girls
power
with big
It's
regulator
your
boobs
on,
and
job
crazy
to write
colors
this
of hair.
now.
gotta ask you.
Hello, Iron
you
Ninja.
understand
Hello,
the
Zach.
idea?
Hi,
How's it going?
Zach. How are you doing? I don't know why I
For
did
sure.
that. I thought it was sounded funny.
Hi, Zach.
Scrubs Animate, my good buddy Scrubula asked thoughts on the Step Up movies.
So I'm transferring the power to Edgewater, which is the corporate town.
You're gonna give it to the corporation?
Yeah.
Good. Do we profit from this?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, for people just joining the stream or don't know, we're role-playing a character who's just a crazy, evil corporate sellout man whose main goal is just to line his pockets and profit from every mission and spend as little money as possible. We came up with a backstory and a name for him.
And
his name is what is it? Nux Caliban.
He looks like a Mad Max character.
He's a Chinese businessman who looks like the guy from Mad Max with the skull face. And he which is already a contradiction in itself because they don't like skulls. But anyway, he just wants to take over the American theater market on this space planet.
So you can look at him, see him, he's right here. Look at that classic guy.
So he can charge crazy amounts for ticket prices and tell the corporations like he can tell Space Disney to take out all the space gays from their movies so that they can sell it better to the space Chinese market.
That's more your invention than mine, but I agree.
Well, is it not funny though?
Mm-hmm. So Zach says he just got back from Galaxy's Edge. Speaking of Disney,
isn't that a Star Wars thingy? I think
yes, it's a Star Wars thing at Disneyland.
That's cool. I've been seeing him post pictures of that on the Twiddles. That looks awesome. I'm not much of a Star Wars guy, but I can get into like stuff like that. Or it's like, hey, here's costumes, and hey, you want to build your own lightsaber, or hey, here's like, you want to explore like a hyper accurate Millennium Falcon.
She's getting angry.
Leader of what?
To fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake.
She's angry at us.
Chopped you into pieces and roasted you
well,
on a spit.
Yeah.
This
hey, oh man,
doing.
yeah, her face just.
My power.
Man, she has a real.
Garden.
She's hard coded with the
Without refrigeration,
RBF.
my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the.
God damn it, Gwen is not best girl. It's Mary Jane.
My temper.
I'll fucking fight people over this.
Why did you do it?
Why did you do it?
I will break a bottle over the bar counter over this.
You killed my garden, destroyed.
I like
my
how
view.
Zach's
Go
name
talk.
has been spelled two different
Thompson.
ways since he joined the stream, and he hasn't corrected either person.
As long as you offer.
I guess the world will
read it.
never know how it's spelled.
Tell him how I've made this. We had so.
So she was angry at us, and I just stole their power regulator.
Well, okay, alright. I'll play devil's advocate. Gwen is best girl if you just completely rewrite her entire personality and just make her just a new character.
Oh god.
Like, if you fan fiction the fuck out of it, yeah, sure, you can just put anything there, because what's there is just a boring placeholder. She's just the most white bread, generic love interest character ever. She's just a pretty blonde who does nothing and then dies. Right? So, if you like retcon her to, oh, she really loves science and she's a real go-getter and she likes to help Peter on his missions fighting the villains. She'll try to torch the lizard or help him fix his web shooters to fight Electro, you know. And there also there's the bullshit of if you cast Emma Stone as her, of course everyone's gonna love her. Emma Stone would have been a better MJ. All right, fuck it. Mary Jane would have won the waifu wars if Emma Stone was cast as MJ instead. That's how simple it is.
MJ?
Mary Jane?
Michelle, you mean?
David, we're not gonna have a... And I really don't appreciate you bringing that up because you know that this is a sore subject for me and people in my social circles, so I don't know why you're trying make a giant fight out of this.
Why is it a sore
fucking, I don't
subject?
appreciate-
Now that Half-Life Alyx has been announced and is set to release next year, what are your expectations on getting Episode 3? Well,
Never.
having Valve make any video game at all, especially after how the last, like, 7 years have gone, is the biggest fucking improvement ever. That is, we have made so much progress because they actually made something they give a shit about.
You know what else they give a shit about?
Making money, billions
Epic
and
Games
billions
Store
off
dying.
of Steam every
This is
year.
a fine day, friend.
What, huh?
Power flows through our...
The Epic Games Store.
Oh yeah, no, that's so much business. Oh man.
Then we are
But yeah, they make so much
I-
money off of Steam every year that they really have no
I was
reason to make any games. So the fact that they did,
I
and
don't-
they've done it mostly in secret, is really
understand.
impressive. Because
We-
no one even knew or had any inkling that this new Half-Life game was
The
going to be a
sol-
thing
we've-
until they announced
Health
it.
is a...
Which
no-
means that they've been so
You will ex-
good at keeping that a secret that it makes me wonder,
that-
like, what else have they been working on? Because they have, like, a new version of the engine now. They have all
I-
these sets. They have, like,
I do.
you know, they were added to the story.
Couple months...
They put in effort. It's
No such-
just a fucking, it's a Half-Life
don't-
game, right? That means that if they have all this shit, they're, like, halfway there to making Half-Life 3. Really, all they gotta do now is just do environments. I wouldn't even mind if it's a VR game. Sure, I can't play it. I can just watch a Let's Play on YouTube or something. I'll support someone else's YouTube channel. I don't give a fuck.
You'll give
I just
somebody
want
money
it to
on
happen
Patreon
so
or
I know what
something.
happens next. I need to have an ending for the story.
You know who else needs to have an ending for the story?
Any Spider-Man cartoon?
Ben, hey, how you doing?
Ben! Xavier, when you have the opportunity, can you send me the patron list? Oh, that's good news. That means the new video is done.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, let me fucking print that off right now. Or not, I guess not print it off. I'll download the PDF and send it. I don't have a printer anymore.
Why do you not have a printer anymore?
Because the old one is a broken old piece of garbage, and with your permission, I'd like to reenact the scene from Office Space where they go crazy and smash a printer together. I'd like you to come with me and help do that, because I have a printer that I do not need to use anymore.
As
and
long as
I
we
want
make a
it- I want
vlog
to
about it
die.
and put it on YouTube's.
Okay. We might get in trouble with the copyright for using the rap music, but, like, we'll
It's a
try. We'll
fine
see,
new
we'll see
day.
how it goes.
I suppose.
Let's see. Patrons. I
Wonderful.
forgot how to
the fuck is
navigate this menu. Boy, I am a mess. I am a train wreck of a person.
You're not the only one.
Alright, where do I download this list?
What else is your list?
Okay, CSV, I think that's a download thingy. Okay. And then I'll go to the fucking... everyone get excited! There's a new stream highlights that Ben edited. I've seen most of
Yes.
it, and it's really good.
Which one is this one?
It's when we played the Spider-Man movie games.
Fuck yes, I love it. It's
It's
so
part
good.
1 of 2, I think. Because I remember there was some goofy shit with Spider-Man 2 that I haven't seen him edit yet. But I remember vividly how funny it was.
There's
when
there's
we
the
were-
pizza time bit.
Oh man, that was a mess. Apparently, Josh said that that's like not even an Italian song, and that's like Colombian or something. And he's like that. He got like actually mad about the Pizza Time song being like some kind of cultural appropriation, and I think that's the funniest shit.
Diego has to head out. We'll see you later.
Oh,
Good
let
night.
me look back at the stream chat.
Have
yeah.
fun at work, Diego.
Have fun on the graveyard shift. I don't know when I'm going to sleep, so maybe I can text you, Diego. We can talk shop about working on a future video thingy, because we've been discussing that a little bit. And I've
What
been
are you gonna
busy
be
today. I've
collaborating
seen
on
your
this
messages. I've just been very busy, so I didn't see all,
What
or I wasn't
y'all
able to
gonna be
reply.
collabing on this time?
For a future thingamajig.
Yeah,
I
what
can't
thing?
spoil that, but let's say a certain show that did well enough, I guess. It's okay. People liked it. It might come back.
What show? Tell me. Now.
Autosave the day.
Oh, text it to me. Oh, that show.
I said what, texted to you? What?
Why would the day be autosaved? What does that even mean?
Well, it's because they're superheroes and they save the day. And when you're, playing a video game, it autosaves.
Okay, so in the chat, Mr. Movie Boy says, as an Italian, I can tell you that the pizza time of the song is called Funiculi Funicula, and it's Italian, all wrote in Naples dialect.
What?
What?
Ben just showed me what the CSV thing I sent him looks like. And it's a hilarious mess, and I'm trying to figure out how to download a different version of the thing so that he can use it.
Hey,
that
Xavier, do you have thoughts about
unreadable.
BoJack Horseman?
I watched the first 2 seasons, and I thought I got like halfway through the third, and I thought it was getting a little repetitive, because really what I was getting from it is just that, yes, he's a shitty person who makes awful mistakes constantly, and everyone's mad at him, and his depression is not a very good excuse to do bad things, and I don't know how many times they're going to tell us this. It's the same problem I have with Rick and Morty. You want to do character development, but you also want to do like an episodic show, and you can't have both.
You mean Rick and Mumbles?
Rick and Mumblies? Okay, I'm looking at the Excel sheet on my computer, and it looks fine. It's actually just a list of names. I don't know what Ben's looking at, that it's a fucking... It's just a giant garbled jumble of text.
So you're talking about Richard and Mortimer?
Yes.
I think it's also not an accident that Rick and Morty actually started like calling out how much of a terrible person their lead character was more when they changed seasons and they got a lot of new like women and diverse writers on their staff.
Well, I saw a take once where someone was like, yes, the show is about how Rick is a bad person and his output or his outlook on life is flawed. That's why he's always right, and every other character who criticizes him is wrong. And every time he says something, it always turns out to be true. And that was very true for the first 2 seasons, where it's like, we have this character we want to criticize, but like you're doing it wrong by trying to make him the smart guy every time.
Also is like, the point is that only in this universe that's kind of like a parody of like other sci-fi universes would this ever be this way.
Yeah. I like how season 4 is going so far, because it has an episode where Rick is being an asshole and actually gets punished for it, because he's trying to make like an enemy with someone over a really petty reason, and then they kind of become his friend and like want to hang out with him, and he like just has this like crazy knee-jerk rejection of it, and is like, no, I don't like friends, fuck you, you're a bad person, I'm gonna torture you. And then he keeps trying to like get revenge on this guy who clearly actually just likes him, to the point of like, it's like you start noticing that it's more of like a cry for help, and he just really does want to be friends with this person, and then the person dies, and then he's just lonely and sad. and then feels like an asshole.
Nice.
And it's like, wow, you finally actually gave him consequences for the first time in I don't know how long, since the fucking Unity episode, it feels like.
I haven't watched the second half of season 3 or season 4 for that matter.
Season 3 is the shakiest one so far, in my opinion, because it really can't make a fucking decision about the character development thing. It keeps jumping back and forth, but season 4 has made more strides to actually just hardcore nail it down. Just, yes, we're going to make this character work on himself.
I'm glad we...
There's an awkward silence now because I'm reading the chat.
Oh, what are you reading?
Someone said the second episode of Rick and Morty season 4 surprisingly had a lot of character development for Rick. Yeah, it was the one I was talking about, I think. Rick and Morty should stop trying to pass from a sci-fi Seinfeld. It's obvious that there's way much more in it, but I think they are scared that if they go for it, they could never come back. So you mean, like, you want them to start, like, diversifying a little bit more from just being, like, kind of a goofy little sci-fi sitcom to something more, like, story-based? I don't know. I could kind of see that, potentially, like doing season-long arcs. But, I don't know. I feel like that's something they're gonna wait to do, because, what? Season 4 is only going to be 5 episodes? Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? What? How? Why? What? I'm like really shocked from that. I don't think that's real. That sounds too absurd to be true. Well, I guess also the fucking the release dates episodes or the release dates for episodes are fucking annoying. It's like, let's release 2 episodes, then go on hiatus for a little bit before the third one or whatever.
Is this your Oh.
Or no, they did 3 of them. Now they're on hiatus.
And if you...
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there'll be a break after those episodes, then they'll do 5 more. So it's gonna be like mid-season breaks, like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad used to have to do this because they just had too much stuff to film and like not enough time to film it, so they would like
it's funny
put
how
out
they're
the
only
first
having
half
5
of the
episodes in this season, given that like after like season 3 they were like picked up for like 100-something episodes or something.
No, it's gonna be 10 episodes. They're just doing a break in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, but well, I think one of the things that makes Rick and Morty kind of special actually is that like they really put a lot of time and care into the animation of it to the point that it's kind of like head and shoulders above all the other stuff. Like,
okay, so
you
they
know,
were
Family
picked up
Guy,
for 70 extra episodes,
which is pretty cool. Like, what Family Guy is a show that's like kind of frustrating because the animation for the most part is just really basic and like almost looks cookie cutter. Like they just, here's a list of poses and here's a list of facial expressions and let's just cycle through them. While as Rick and Morty, like every episode they try to do something kind of fucking over the top and wacky that requires a ton of work and time.
Outstanding.
Like there was just an episode where like that came out where Rick is just in a fight scene in the middle of a war zone, like where robots are fighting lizard people.
Plus there's the whole Pickle Rick thing,
which was like had a lot of really elaborate sequences,
like a lot of elaborate fight scenes.
Yeah, they do a lot of elaborate fight scenes. They do a lot of like crazy sight gags or like a lot of really intense visual design to make like different planets or alien species look, unique.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of work put into it. So Rick and Morty takes a lot more time to animate, and that's why the season breaks are so big, and also why I can understand doing a mid-season break. Because they probably don't even have like all of season 4 like fully done yet. I heard the weirdest fact like a couple months ago, and it's still stuck with me. and like I don't know how to process it. Is that they said that a single episode of Family Guy takes 9 months to animate, and I'm like, where is all that time going? Like, are you having like one person animate each, and that's how you can do 25 every year?
I think you read something like that, like on the other side of things, something like what is it? South Park takes like
yeah, South Park takes a week. South Park takes a week to animate each episode, and not even that. It takes a week to write, voice act, edit, and animate. They actually, because when you're a little kid and you're stupid and don't know anything, you're like, you think they actually make every episode week to week, so you're like, oh, I guess the next one will be on. They still got to make it. They actually do that with South Park. That's why it's so hard to advertise the show sometimes, is because they don't know what the episodes for the season are going to be, because they don't exist yet. So they're like, how do we drum up hype for this, like, this season when, like, none of it's been worked on? There was a whole documentary about it, and how they just like they have a cycle. It's just like on like Mondays or whatever. Or no, I guess because the episodes come out on Wednesdays. So on Thursdays they'll have like a sit down and just like talk about what's current in like modern politics and news and media. And then like the next day after that, they'll start working on like writing the script and storyboarding. And then the day after that, they do the voice acting, and then the rest of the week is just animation, like really fast. And then they rush to get it to the studio to put out, like maybe a few hours before it's supposed to go live every week, and they've been doing that for like 10 years. I can't imagine the amount of work it takes to do that.
You know what else takes a lot of work to do?
Get out of bed in the morning?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Can we talk?
Let's see. Let's look at the chat here. Okay, so apparently Master Chief will be final Smash Bros. DLC character. That would be really cool if it's true. I don't know. Some of the leaks have been, like, kind of shady and incorrect so far. I'll take it with a grain of salt until I see official confirmation. Apparently there's some kind of drama between two big YouTubers I don't care about. Hey, Xavier, do you like the Ultimate Spider-Man comics? I like a portion of them. Like the first, like, I don't know, like the first, like, 60 or 70 are really good. And then it just kind of, I don't know, just sort of falls off after that. I think I stopped, like, really liking it. Like, it started getting a little rough around, like, the Carnage arc. And then I for sure just kind of gave up after... Like, I mean, I kept reading it. I've read all of them. But I was just not into it anymore after, like, they switched artists. Not because the new artist was bad, but it was just like, we're going to usher in a new era. Stuart Immonen, for all of his amazing talent, because he's a great artist, just couldn't quite elevate what were some pretty half-hearted scripts. And then the story just goes on until, like, Ultimatum, which is where it probably should have ended, but it was selling too well, so they had to keep going. And then there's like 30 issues after that where it just basically becomes like a weird, like side universe kids comic for a little bit. And then suddenly it tries to remember that it used to have a dark and gritty tone, and then like brings that back in for like the last like 3 issues when Spider-Man dies. And then after that they bring in Miles, and like, you guys all know how I feel about the Miles books up until like just this most recent run after Spider-Verse came out, where it started getting better. Yes, I would like to stream Resident Evil games someday. I love those games.
What?
David, have you just fallen asleep over there?
No.
What you doing?
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just talking to the chat because you're so quiet.
Okay, so I just finished. I want to go back. I'm gonna go back to my ship, and I'm gonna show you something. So I solved the situation on the opening planet, and I gave the power to the to the people. But I decided to fuck over the guy with the bowler hat because I didn't like him. So then I gave him his power to somebody else. So I'm gonna go back.
Did you profit from this?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's
the unreliable.
That's my ship, and we got a plaque.
That's pretty funny.
We got a plaque. See this right here?
Hold on, you got to remember there's a delay, so I'm a little bit behind.
So you got this big
I think
thing
you're
on the
walking
wall.
up to it right now. Also, someone said, when's the next couch potatoes?
Whenever I finish editing it, which is soon.
Edgewater Employment Community, Spacer's Choice? Is that what you're talking about?
We got this, and on it says, Adelaide's deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson. Never dream. So that's my legacy on this planet. I crushed their dreams.
What a bastard. I honestly don't think I could answer the question of what's my favorite Resident Evil game. That's too hard to answer. There's too many good ones.
Obviously, Resident Evil 7, right?
That one's a contender. That one was really good.
What about Resident Evil 6?
That one's the meme one that everyone hates.
Hey, no
Yeah,
offense,
I knew you were trying to remember which one it was. Yeah, Resident Evil 6 is the goofy one that everyone's like, what the fuck are we doing it to? Because you fight a zombie T-Rex in that one. Everyone's like, remember when this was scary and claustrophobic? And now you're playing as a bunch of, like, indestructible, superpowered ninjas with a billion bullets doing front flips over helicopters and shooting zombie T-Rexes while falling off of a building. And it's like, we've kind of lost the plot here a little bit. And then Resident Evil 7 came out and was like, okay, you're in a house and you suck and everything is stronger than you and you have no ammo and fuck you. And then it pushes you down before leaving the room, and that's how the game starts. And that's why Resident Evil 7 kicks ass.
According to your ship's wreck. Wow. Now, you'll want his office.
I would say my least favorite Resident Evil game. It's weird, like. Okay, I would say, like, the one that I just have the least amount of fun playing is 6, because I just don't like the gameplay. Like, it feels very stiff and, like, kind of slow and annoying.
So it's a meme, right? That's the bad one?
Yeah. But it's weird, like, I have an unpopular opinion of RE4 is that I think it's a masterpiece and it's awesome, which a lot of people agree with, but I hate playing it because I hate how clunky and slow the old gameplay is. Like, even when I played that when it came out, it was really hard to get used to, because, David, imagine playing Dead Space, but you can't walk while you're aiming.
You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Doctor.
And, like, how much that cripples you and the entirety of the gameplay. And sure, it's, like, doable, but, like, for me, it's just, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good, so it always feels like slightly more of a chore to play that game. I don't mind the rail shooters that they did, because, like, what the fuck else are you gonna make for the Wii? You know, Nintendo asked you, hey, make some Resident Evil games for the Wii. What are you gonna do? Just make a fucking rail shooter. It's perfect for that. That thing was designed for rail shooters.
What else was what was designed for rail shooters?
The Wii?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to go, right now, if you'll follow what I'm doing, I'm going to go to a certain location, and I'm going to do the biggest thing I can do to sell out.
Cool. Hey, when's the next Couch Potatoes?
When's the next Couch Potatoes? When I finish editing it.
Someone said, what do you think is the most overrated comic book series you've ever read? Walking Dead. It sucks.
So
I'm sorry. It's bad.
If you'll follow me, I'm going into the rich people place to talk to the rich person, and you know they're evil because they're rich.
Yes.
So you remember that guy who woke me up from the cryotube where I was stuck, right?
Yeah.
I can sell him out to these people.
The guy who helped you?
Yes.
What a bastard.
And
But do you
I'm gonna
profit
do
a lot from
that
it?
because that's gonna get me a lot of money.
Ah, yes.
Do it.
Wheeler
You have to get the money.
He must be
I
the
have to
captain of
get the money.
A vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not.
You have to
he.
sell out everyone and
That's-
everything.
something
Sell out your own
happened
grandma
to
if you can
my
make a
favorite
penny off
scruffy
of it.
freelancer.
Oh,
That's our
yes.
character. That's the Nux Caliban. That's the Nux Caliban I know.
Oh no, this is terrible.
Alex is
What do you
dead.
think about Iron Man Armored Adventures? It's really cool, actually. Like, if you just pretend it's a very
I
different
am
alternate
pounded out.
universe and
I-
just
Around.
ignore everything you know about, original
What?
Iron Man, it's actually pretty enjoyable as its own thing. Like, just pretend it's a fucking,
Oh,
like, Ben 10 or
an
something.
apprehension
Just,
of this
not
kind.
based on a comic book. Just imagine
Just
it
a
like that,
teensy
in which
one.
case it's great.
The thing is,
What's your opinion of the Tomb Raider games? I've only really played like 2 of them, and I thought they were great, but they were Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider
I produce
Anniversary,
bootleg ser-
so it's been quite a while
You?
since I've been into that series.
Oh,
The heart wants what it wants, as they say.
Am I gonna review
and
Superhero
mine
Squad?
yearns for
I
the
don't know,
adoration
maybe.
of masses, held at a comfortable distance.
Why don't you ask David some questions, for fuck's sake? It's his stream!
Flat.
Ah! Well, you just come here to harangue me about
Pawned my official
opinions?
board seal to
Huh?
Gladys,
Is that
the
what you
black
want
market
from me?
fancier on the Groundbreaker.
Why don't you come over here and ask this
Authorized
boy
the
some
paperwork
questions?
you'll need to turn Phineas
And don't
into
ask him a
Gladys.
Star Trek question. He
Stray
likes
too
things
much
other
from
than
the,
Star Trek,
straight and
goddammit!
narrow, and one may just find himself assigned pastoral duty in a maximum security penitentiary.
David, you're supposed to talk now
It's
after
only
I've finished
temporary, of
speaking, so
course.
that there's not
I'd never leave
dead
something so
spaces in the
important in the
stream.
hands
So
of
right
such
now
a
what I'm doing
dubious
is that
moral
I'm selling
character.
out, but I can't sell out yet because this guy has sold his seal for official paperwork. So I need to get. So before I can do the board a favor and turn in their terrorist, I need to do him a favor so I can get his
the
seal
long and short
back
of it, yes.
because he sold his seal
Okay.
so that he could get money to produce bootleg movies.
We can sell those bootleg
Thank
movies.
you so much.
Mm-hmm. And
We
they're
want to
not
get
porn.
into the movie industry, right? That's how we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna buy the theater system.
And they're not pornos.
Sometimes sacrifices must be made to stay aligned with the plan.
Well, that's not as fun. Anyway, people are saying David's busy running dialogue options, and he
I
doesn't
am.
answer a lot. To be fair, he doesn't answer a lot because I'm not. Well,
If it's
whenever
between
people
us,
ask
I'm
questions, I
reliable.
just kind of answer them for him,
believe
I
I
guess.
sleep on the-
And he's
Bless
like
my
playing the game.
heart.
He's not really looking at
A
the
Do you
screen.
guys
come
ever
knocking on a
finish
poor old
The
woman's
Simpsons?
door.
No.
You here for a
We
particular
watched
reason?
No.
3 seasons
Or did the
over one
neighbors
day and
tell
that's
you how
it.
good my
That was like
sugar
2 years
cookies
ago.
are?
We should do that again
Made without
sometime.
a single natural
Yeah, and try.
ingredient.
We
Or
gotta
nothing.
find the episode we
Just
left
like
off at,
store-bought.
and then continue from there.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be we don't even have to use all my fucking
Depends.
DVD box sets
What are you
anymore
planning
because
to
it's
do
just
with
all
it?
on like one streaming service now. It's on both
See the
Hulu
lights.
and Disney
Taking a
Plus,
show
the
or
whole
two at the
series.
infamous Bijou. Could be a treat if you like that kind of.
Bombastic AR says
right,
the fire
I'll sell
alarm
it
is
to you.
going off in his building.
gonna
He's
cost you
probably
dear.
gonna die, but that's fine.
That's
Hey,
fine.
buddy. You know, when you got a choice between running out of a burning
find
building
yourself
or
lack-
watching the rest of this stream where 2 guys just kind of talk over
Do you know?
slightly choppy footage of Outer Worlds, we all know what the
You-
right choice is.
How slightly choppy is the footage?
Don't forget
That
to
guy
come
says
find old
The
Gladys
Simpsons
when you're
sucks.
done.
Okay. Appreciate your contribution to the conversations. Very helpful.
You know what
Really?
else sucks? The Simpsons.
Might want to
How about I don't like The Simpsons because, you know, that
anytime.
then there's like an opinion added, like, you know, for like a reason, and then it opens up the room for discussion. Like, you cannot like it, but when you just say flat out it sucks, well, then where do we go from here? We can't. And well, yeah, of course, everyone thinks current Simpsons sucks. Yet somehow, for some reason, it's still like makes enough money every year to keep going. It's weird.
Thought there'd be more machinery.
I want them to just
Must
take
be
like a
housed on
break
some
for
level.
5 years at least. Just stop it. Just like, you know, run all the syndication and reruns and shit. You know, make your money that way. And
Junlei, Tennessee.
probably sell a bunch of merch, whatever. You make another fucking video game,
Just so we
sure,
understand.
right? You do a lot of stuff in the interim, but just actually just stop making the show for 5 years, and then like
What?
hire a completely new writing staff
just
of
thinking,
like
I
nothing
haven't
but
got
new
much
people,
experience working with
and then just
actual,
start fresh. Maybe
real
even change the art
spaceships,
style a little
Mr.
bit,
Junlei.
update it just to
Chief
ever so
Junlei.
slightly, you know? Because it
Junlei
looks
is
like
fine.
it still has the same art style it's had for 30 years, and you know it's starting to look a little
Okay.
samey.
You know what
Since you
also
But,
really
space
sucks
agents,
Because
about
5
this?
years
I was
is long
wondering-
enough that like
well,
the industry
maybe you
can
could
make a lot of
teach me some
changes in
things.
5 years,
I can message you
current
later,
animation
maybe?
trends. You know, like
I'd be happy
Rick
to
and
make
Morty
time by
didn't
that.
exist 5 years
You
ago,
can
but
ask me
like
anything.
that's like the fucking A game. And I'm not saying just copy whatever's
Goodbye,
current,
see you
but like
later, Scrubs.
learn from things.
Also,
Oh, Scrubula's leaving? Did he
Wow,
say?
great.
he says, "Be right
I'll
back."
do
Oh,
I have to
he's
get
coming
some
back.
food.
Messages.
So the other
Okay,
thing,
get some foods.
Oh,
so the
your-
other
your
thing to
name's
say
pretty too.
about The Simpsons that sucks
Couldn't have done it without
is
your moral
that
support.
Now,
there was
if
the
there's nothing
Spanish
else,
language
there are other
dub
parts
of
the
it,
ship
right?
begging for my attention.
And
Yeah.
they hired a bunch of like voice actors
Groundbreaker's radiators.
in Mexico to do it, right? Because there's a big dubbing industry in Mexico, especially for like American stuff.
Only the board has access.
Yeah, I
to
mean
the
every
voice,
country really.
And I won't let
But
them
Mexico
Like,
is
you
the
know,
Spanish
we're-
language capital of dubbing, or it was. But
None.
Yeah.
they
Every
had this
time I
really
come to the
iconic
board,
cast that was
Groundbreaker
really
loses its
popular. They
freedom.
were like they did a lot of
Soon there
like
won't be anything
translation and
left.
like improv
I can't
stuff
allow
to help
that.
make sure that
The board isn't helping, and my
So they really
Simpsons-
helped the show feel
if
at
I don't get
home.
those radiators
in
back
Latin
online,
America.
Groundbreaker, everyone
Okay.
on board.
They did a really
will be cooked
real,
alive.
and they became sort of celebrities in their own right, or as much as voice actors become celebrities.
Reasonable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
That's the best
But
I mean,
then-
like
all
you know,
day.
like Dan Castellaneta
According
is
to my
not a big
grandmother's old
name.
schematic,
but
Exactly.
the parts we
Homer
need
Simpson
should be in the
certainly
back
is. So
phase.
over there, you know, when you ask who is
Hold on.
Homer Simpson, it's probably whoever his respective dub actor is to to those people. That's who they imagine, you know. So and I'm sure that's a big honor.
So once those voice actors became popular after a number of years, what happened next was that voice actors in Mexico get horribly underpaid, like ridiculously. They get paid peanuts, and
Which sucks.
And they tried to fix that. These actors, join a union, get representation, blah blah blah, and good bombastic AR. It's good that you're not going to die from the fire alarm. And then
Appears that the stream is lagging on my end, so I can't really see gameplay. But continue talking.
And then, well, actually, I'm not moving right now because I'm talking.
Well, I good, and I'm not missing much.
Okay. And then on the other side of things, what was it that I was thinking of? Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now it's back.
Oh yeah, that was right. What I was gonna say is that they joined a union to try and get better wages, and they tried to and then they fired them all, and then they replaced them with other voice actors. So like in Spanish language countries, just like in America, in Spanish language countries, there's like the old Simpsons that had the old cast that was good, and then they hired new actors.
New one
that got
which
paid for peanuts, which aren't as
the
good.
new guys who are cheap and don't want extra money.
Well, they're willing to work.
Ah,
Look at this, right?
that
Nice to
sucks.
meet you.
I hate
Time
when
to
that happens
feed
because
the
honestly,
flame.
like
Is this
sometimes casting changes can honestly kill a show for me. Like, if I really just do not like a new voice for a character, it will sometimes turn me off to the whole thing. I'm trying to think of an example. It didn't make me like hate the show, but like in the Ben 10 series, where 5 years and made him.
What?
My pal Yuri Lowenthal was the voice of Ben, and that was great. I think that was fantastic cast. but every alien in the show was all voiced by the same guy, D. Bradley Baker, and it was like I didn't notice watching that show like earlier this year. It's super obvious that like 40 characters in the show are the same voice actor to save money, and it drives me crazy because they all sound so similar, and it's like why didn't you just get like 2 extra guys just to give some variety? Because he really just has 3 voices that he does. He's I'm gruff, big, scary alien voice, and I'm smaller, fast alien voice, and he just cycles between those 2, and it's like, come on.
So there's another version of that I wanted to that happened as well, which is Star Trek the Animated Series.
Oh yeah, didn't they get all the TV show cast at least for like the first episode?
No, they didn't. Originally, they didn't. They had all of the original cast except for Sulu. They just never called it. They just decided, it'll be fine to,
no one cares.
It'll be fine to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the only reason that Sulu got on the show was that Leonard Nimoy, and bless his heart for doing this, Leonard Nimoy said, look, what Star Trek is about is diversity and opinions and blah, blah, blah. And the person and the person who embodies that more than anybody else is, this guy.
Our favorite flamboyant Asian.
Yeah, exactly. So he said that I'm not going to be there if they aren't there.
And you gotta have Spock.
Exactly, and that's the only. That's the only reason why they have And that's the only reason why he was ever on that show.
So Leonard went to
George Takei was on the show because he went to
That's cool.
But beyond
that's really awesome. Good. Leonard Nimoy is a fucking hero. I miss him.
It's nothing personal.
But beyond that, they hired for all the voices that were not the original cast. They hired James Doohan.
Speaking for myself,
to do all the male
who
voices.
plays with fire.
And
you came with the
well, which people did they not?
We got plenty of space to spread
Which
out.
people did they not
but
get?
Only room for
No,
one
like
captain.
all the other male voices for like all the other characters on the show. Like any
so
other
like
person that was not the main cast would be voiced by, if they were a male,
Ooh, look at the courage on this
by
one.
James Doohan, and if
Lay
they
it
were a
on me,
female,
boss. Give me a
by
taste of that fiery,
I forgot her
primal
name,
spirit.
the girl who voiced the computer.
Oh wow! Wait, who's James Doohan again?
right,
Which one?
Scotty.
Okay, Scotty. So
You don't
did everyone have the accent?
under it. You've got.
No, they just
Lay it
had
on
like
me,
this like
boss.
they all sounded the
good
same.
for
They
it.
had like this like squeaky cartoony voice.
Oh,
You can
okay.
come and
Well,
go.
I could imagine the reason because we're paying out the ass for all these super big name famous voice actors.
No, they weren't paying out the ass. They were they were literally the TV show actors.
I mean, were they not big names by that point?
No, they were just known for the TV show, and the TV show was not that successful during its initial run.
Even the proverbial unwashed.
So they were.
So
they were
all these
even
people were
fucking
just
cheaper.
like fucking nobodies, so you didn't have to spend that much money on.
Yeah, and they were just so fucking.
Oh, because
cheap.
my theory was we have to spend money on all these actors who are known for the show that from 10 years ago, and the only way that we're going to be able to get that is by cheaping out on the animation and not having any other voice actors other than them.
They cheaped out on literally everything.
So even back then, they cheaped out on voice actors because those people were not expensive at the time.
Yeah.
That's funny, because like getting Leonard Nimoy to voice something now, like these days, would be like an accomplishment. You're like, oh my god, that Transformer is voiced by Spock. But like,
you have to realize that Star Trek was never that successful during its initial run. It was only successful in syndication in the 1970s.
in the 70s and like particularly in the 80s, and then that's what led to the whole no, we don't want the next generation. Fuck you, bring back Spock.
Yeah, it only became you know, basically the same thing that Star Wars fans went through with like Rey, Finn, and Poe is what Star Trek fans went through in the 80s.
Bring back the original guys. We like the old ones.
And then yeah, it's like what you have to realize is that Star Trek has always been low budget. But even for Star Trek, the animated series was even more lower budget. Like, they had peanuts for the original show, but they had, like, only 1/2 of a peanut.
Hey, Jonathan, just want to let you know. Telling us the exact number of people watching the stream at all times, just keeping us updated on that. We don't need your help with that. We can see the number. You're not accomplishing anything. If anything, you're just kind of being discouraging a little bit by going, hey, people are leaving. Oh, no, there's someone back. No, they're leaving again. Like, I don't know what you're trying to really do with that. Anyway. Someone was asking, what are our thoughts on Breaking Bad?
I've never watched it.
I rewatched it just recently in preparation for the new movie that came out, El Camino. And,
was El Camino any good?
El Camino was like way better than it had any right to be. I thought it was just gonna be like a cash grab, but it felt honestly like something that they put a lot of time and thought into. But what's interesting is that El Camino, like, it kind of stands up on its own, which you think it wouldn't, being like a movie based on a 5-season TV show. But like, there's just enough information shown about what the show was and what happened that you could totally just watch it on its own.
So, I have never watched an episode of Breaking Bad in my life. Should I watch the movie?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a good movie. There's certain things that you won't understand or appreciate about it. You'll be like, oh, who's that? Maybe twice. But everything else, I think you'll be able to parse out, because they do just enough exposition to not be annoying. Because it's also been a few years. Like, not everyone's, like, fucking... Well, actually, I think they have a recap in front of the movie, so you can just watch that.
A recap?
Yeah, just like one of those fucking 5 minutes. Here's what the show's about.
Last time on Star Trek.
Hey, someone donated $5.
Hey, thank you very much.
Hey, it's Reese, I think.
Hey, Reese, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, Reese. Thanks for the donation. We appreciate that. That's the first one of the stream.
Nice. Baby's first stream donation. So you can sneak
just out of
past
curiosity,
these robots.
what time is it where you are? What, huh? What, huh? What?
Time is it where I am?
Yeah.
Incoming!
Because you're like 3 hours ahead, right?
I'm 2 hours ahead. I'm on Diego time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, it's like almost 10 p.m.
For me,
Which means
almost
for you,
midnight.
it's almost midnight. Yikes. We have been going for about 2 hours. Do you think we should call it quits for now?
I'm good for whatever.
I don't know. I think maybe it's been a good enough stream. We've talked about a lot. We got a donation. We've chilled out with the boys.
Well, listen, at least if I got at least one donation, I'm happy.
Yeah. You got that $5.
Hey. Now I can
Now
buy
it'll sit in the Google AdSense account for forever until you make enough that it crosses the...
I've already crossed that deadline. I just haven't actually bothered to collect on it yet.
Oh, well, isn't it like a direct deposit? Oh, you gotta set that up.
Yeah.
We'll do that. It's money, dude.
I'm not earning enough for it to be worth anything.
Dude, I think that says a lot about the lives we've led. Is $100 to me is like, oh my god, I need it. While you're like, it's not worth that much. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
That says a lot. Dude, do you know how many fucking McNuggets you could buy with $100?
All I'm saying,
I don't
You'd be
buy
set
McNuggets.
for life.
predestined upon a path that is only visible in retrospect. If I could
Do
have
you know
predicted my
how
life
many
path
bottles
would
of
lead to
water
prison,
you could buy
and
for
thus
$100?
avoid
Because tap water
wouldn't I
tastes
have done
gross.
so?
I just
Even if
drink
I
the
had,
tap water.
it still would have been.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking psychopath.
My board's
You also
open
store
between
severed heads in your
the
fridge?
Yes.
I like how offended I got by that.
Don't stop. We're always.
What are you doing right now?
Alright. Well, nothing really. Just looking at the chat. People are just talking about what time it is.
What time is it in London?
You aiming
It's-
to send a message?
Well, it seems like everyone here, it's pretty late.
We're
So...
And
yeah, I don't know if we could... Whoa! Hey, look, Zach just gave the second donation, $2. See you guys.
Hey.
Hope to speak to you both soon. Yeah, I would love that, dude.
if you
What are you thinking, Davil?
I'm thinking I'm thinking it's a good time to finish off. So I just oh wait. Yeah, so I would have liked to be able to sell out the whole huge corporation, but I think if we ever decide to stream again, we could do it then.
I mean, we could always just do it. Just play this game again.
Yeah. We can save this character, Nux.
Nux Caliban.
I'll just pull up his face again so that people can see how terrible he is. Just look at that. His eyes are white. I love it.
Why'd you put a helmet on him?
For armor.
No, everyone needs to see how frightening this corporate
Well,
overlord
I took
man
off the
is.
helmet, obviously, so you can see him.
Yeah, he's like a Mad Max character mixed with like the fucking Emperor.
Will this be archived, Agent of Chaos? Yes, it will.
I mean, I feel like every stream is archived. Does anyone have it set to... Is there a setting on YouTube that makes your streams not archive?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we're not those people. We would like you to be able to appreciate this, even if I haven't seen a lot.
So socially inept Spider-Man is concerned about the UK election, because if a lot of people will be fucked if like Boris Johnson wins, so that'll be fun.
You mean to tell me that a country is scared about its impending election coming up?
You know, as a United States citizen, what? You mean...
Oh, another $2 donation from Reese, and he also proposed to Nux.
He proposed?
Yeah, look, there's a ring and everything.
Hey!
Holy shit! Oh man, now that's an ending point. Fuck yeah!
Well, listen.
Thanks, Reese.
As long as he pays for the ring, Nux will say yes.
Yeah, Nux doesn't want to spend a dime.
And with that as an ending point, I think we will see you
Oh
later.
man, that adds so much to our lore now, is that Nux is also gay, but he knows that it won't sell well in China, so he keeps it quiet.
But of course he won't live in China.
No, obviously not. But it's a big market.
It is a big
Okay,
market.
you need to. Can you just do another cut? Can you just cut out that part? Can you change that a little?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Reese. Appreciate you dropping by. Sorry that got here so late that we were already kind of tired and everything, but you can always just go watch the rest of the archive because we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yep.
All right, see you around, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.